Okay, ladies and gentlemen, going live. Let's play some music and then we are going to start hopefully right on the dot. Let's see, it's a new music. I like this beat. It's called Find Your Way beat. Whoa, look at that. Everything is finishing perfectly today. So now let me try to figure out. I tried something new this time around. Yeah, guys, I got my vaccine and I guess that's all I get. So I didn't know, as it happened yesterday, the second one, how I would feel, but I have 3 times knocking. I have no symptoms so far. Let's see if this is the best for you. Okay, let's try with this. So, Kot, Kylie, just you and me. Wow, it's going to be nice and intimate session for sure. But there you go. Officially, it is 11 Eastern Standard Time in Toronto. So, we are going to start. You're going to jump in because this session is really exhausting for me. This is why I was wondering, oh my gosh, will I be able to make it? But I am able to make it. So, we are starting with Cancers, and my dear Cancer, voila, here you go. I'm going to try to do it this way, a little bit more, I guess, techno thing. So let me just put the stamp over here, and Cancer, let's go and let's start. The rest of them I'll be pulling, but because it's your birthday, Cancer, we are going to go in this direction. So in order to be faster, look at that, like Chris is here, like this is awesome. It really feels like intimate, sit by the fire. Wouldn't that be awesome, guys, if we are all in the same room that I'm doing right in front of you, where you're all kind of like getting coffees and sipping coffees? I think it will be freaking amazing. I'm sure technology is going to get there. Hello, Knitting Yogi, so glad that you can be here. Love to have you here. So let's start. We are doing Cancers, and Cancers are like, why is she not shuffling? Why is she not shuffling? We always have this like impatience. Man, I have that impatience too, so I don't really blame people. And this juice, my forest strawberry juice is just going to spill all over the table. That's not going to be good. So, Cancer. Cancer. Ooh, Cancer, you're already having some things, which for me this means stop shuffling, don't cut, don't do anything anymore. So this is recently this getting through my head. So you're starting with 3 of fire or 3 of wands, and it's crossed with Knight of wands, which is really interesting. Fire is really not yours. And then you have reversed Knight of swords, or as they call them, sky tome over here. So I'm going to put, or maybe I should go one by one just to give you an idea, and then I can glue it together. Oh, you're doing yoga shop again, so nice. Okay, so that's right, you're like leaving in 30 minutes. Well, hopefully we're going to get to Virgo, but it's really up to pulling, so we'll see. So let me tell you, 3 of wands is like about focus, about where we want to go, your new direction in life. And this is going to be, not only are you thinking about it, you're doing something about it, you're pushing it forward really, really fast. And most people don't know, because we always see Cancers as mushy, but oh man, when Cancers focus on something, just like, I mean, they're forced to be reckoned with. So it's kind of like really it's kind of like not fun for the rest of us. And just want to make sure you actually see this properly, because now I'm seeing this on 2 different monitors. Okay, so this is better. Here we go. Now this, however, tells me that there is a problem with your goal. There's like something that's going to either going to ditch, or you're going to get very angry or something. And thank God, like majority of Mercury retrograde is gone. It was just so bad for me. Really, it was really bad. In so many ways, from fixing the car to fixing a computer. I got a new computer. Like, it almost looks like that once a year during Mercury retrograde you have to do that. So Cancers, ooh, you have 10 of earth. It's like, I think it feels like you have a support of the people who you value, of people, your family, or you feel that there's like some kind of like level of achievement. So this is a really good kind of like, not only landing, but sort of like a resting space where you kind of like are able to jump up. And then you have a sea kitten, which talks about some gentleness, some flirting, some kind of like opening over here. I'm going really quickly through it because then I'm going to glue it together, because each individual one might not mean much, guys, when we put them all to work together. And then you have like a 4 of sea, which kind of like tells me about exhaustion. And no wonder, like, you're putting that in the 5th gear over here. There's like something really kind of like going where you really want to improve yourself, but maybe kind of like you feel like, I mean, you have been thrown on the bottom of the ocean, and now you really have to go up with this coming reversed. Ooh, you have consequences right in your house. This is judgment card, and this is kind of like falling in your own house. This is a karma card, so this is really important here. Like, something is being balanced. Something in your case is coming to some kind of like equilibrium. Oh, the Tower. Oh, somebody, this is your environment. This is like, clearly it's going to affect you for sure, but it's going to affect you because it's affecting somebody else who is able to affect you. So more about that. And then you have a 10 of sky or 10 of swords, and look at that. This is mirroring this in the family. So it's going to feel almost like that somebody is betraying a promise, or something has been, you have been told something and you're following this path, and then you kind of like fall on your nose. And this is how it's going to feel, that you really don't know how to finish, how to go further. That's interesting, Kylie, that you have this, because you guys know, good morning Kathy, good morning, that I'm reading everything. It is really coming through. So 10 of sky is not necessarily horrible card, because it means when you feel down, then you're going to recover, that you're going to go up. I had this dream, the weirdest dream. I was sitting on a park bench, and that park was somewhere in Europe. I know for some reason it just like felt that way, almost like felt like Italy. And it was a whole bunch of snakes going everywhere. And oh my God, people, I cannot stand snakes. I freak out when I see snakes. But, you know, I was not freaked out in a dream. They were just like slipping, sliding. They were all kind of like silver for some reason. And then I went. The next scene was like I was like in a very exclusive shopping center in Toronto, and there was an escalator, and I was like in some kind of like weird entrance. Was not that exclusive. It just almost looked like a whole bunch of Mickey Mouse stores have been placed together, but it was an escalator, and the escalator was weird. It kind of like was a little bit spiral, and it was like going fast. It was like speed of light escalator that was going to somewhere, to the universe. So this kind of like really feels this way, that you feel that you're maybe dealing with people who are snakes, who are kind of like betraying you, who are kind of like you're feeling that you can do better, that you're feeling that you've been drawn, but nonetheless they will be creating problems. And Seven of Fire is on the top as sort of like where you need to head toward, how you need to focus in order to kind of like get things further. Good morning, Glenn. Bonjour. Ça va bien? And so let's go. I'm talking about my French. I'm learning, and then yesterday I tried to read. I was like, ugh, I'm horrible. So it was a big emotional setback. But this is what I see here for you, Cancer. This is really telling me, this is the key card over here, that if you keep that focus razor sharp, that all of these bumps in the road are not going to really affect you. They are going to just be that bumps. You might have a flat tire. There's going to be somebody who is going to be so angry. Their life will fall apart. They will, and I think this is maybe the problem. You are finally going in a new direction. You're finally seeing where you're going. And this can be also dating. It can be like, that you're dating, could be 3 possible people here that I see. One is like water, one is fire, one is air. Like absolutely avoid air person over here. I'm telling you, this person is just not a fit for you, not this month, right? And it sounds to me that you're going to go for the water person if you're like on a dating scene, but even that is going to tire you. Because I also feel there are lots of different kind of like attitudes and goals. It's like your engine is revving up, like you are really feeling energized. But this person is like, I, and like you're like, oh my God, is this like never stopping? Like, how come each and every time I want to move forward, crap happens? And they're like throwing this wrench in my car, and you feel that, oh no again, oh my gosh, here we go. This is really exhausting. So this could be a person in your family. This could be somebody who has a very either anger issues or a victim syndrome, which also can suggest somebody who is highly kind of like on a high on narcissistic scale, meaning that they always things happen to them. You always have to come to rescue. Well, you know what? This time around, I think it's going to be a little bit shift in the attitude, because you're going to be holding your own. You're going to say, everybody, back off. I come first when I do my stuff. If I have time, I'll be there for you. So that also goes in terms of dating, guys. If you date and the people kind of like really are not supportive, or you find that they're negative, it's going to be exhausting for you. So you will really have to pick your battles this particular month. You have to be able to put yourself first, because if you don't, everything is going to collapse. This is what this card says. It has to be in a perfect balance, not only this month, but universally. So you might get lots of lucky breaks, and you might also get lots of things happening that might kind of like feel why, right? But overall, I think it's going to be really positive, and it's really going to start moving forward. So this is what this card really tells me, that usually it's a kind of like payback. So if you paid it forward, payback is really good. And usually when it comes upright, it's kind of like on a really good note. It doesn't mean you don't get this like crappy stuff, which I kind of like see here. But your crappy stuff you are getting this month, because you are supposed to you are supposed to take a different attitude. You're supposed to understand, not to be insensitive, but sort of like be protective, not only of your family, which I see there's like a huge protection, but of everything else. So let me see. Good morning, Anita. Ooh, and this one wants to come out. And look at that. This is like sweetheart reversed. And I kind of like wanted to kind of like check this kind of like segment over here. So this is basically possibly you or somebody you're like eyeing that is coming like, and possibly this is the person that comes here. That maybe you're losing the sense of who you are when this kind of like storm strikes over here. And it can be a literal storm that you will literally need to rescue somebody. And that of course, then you have to put somebody first, but it's also kind of like you need to understand you cannot take the eye off the goal. It's going to be very, very important that you kind of like do this. And then you have consolation. As I said, this means that you are getting, like, look at the angel shows up. He's just there. He's just reading his, paper. He is watching the thing, like it's pretty much what we can imagine to be on vacation and having our breakfast and the first morning coffee. And then angel shows up, dude, you want some money? How about I make you important? Kind of a thing, right? So I think what's really happening here is like, what? Is this some kind of scam? Is this too good to be true? That's kind of like the feeling that you will have. But somebody is going to come, as I said, it's a scale, right? So when you go up, something will go down or somebody will go down. And if you're changing somebody else's life with your decision, they're going to react in a really, really bad way. Just want to get one more card here can you even guys see this Cancer icon there? And there is like conservation, pardon me, conversation reversed. Somebody cannot be talked to into anything. So guys, again, if somebody's angry, somebody needs to sort out their own emotions and come to you in their time. It doesn't mean that you have to sit and hold a hand, because you have some things to do. And I keep repeating, don't take the eye off your goal. This is going to be very, very important. Can you guys even see these icons? And I see that I just left this like white trim, which kind of upset me, but it was just too late to go and fix it. I couldn't, and I put the wrong color, kind of like to do that, but we will suffer through. But look, what I'm seeing on my screen is that you're not necessarily seeing that kind of happening. Oh, the bottom of the deck, Cancer, it was Ace of Cups. So there is like emotional expansion that is coming your way, but it's just going to be too much too soon. Everything really, really happening for you. Nobody's telling me about these icons. Can you see this live? Because on my screen I see live is over the thing, and it kind of like bothers me. And so since nobody's telling me how you see it, I'll just have to move it down for that reason. So the next one is going to be, hello Barbie. The next one, you see it, but you see it properly, or you see it, it's kind of like having this live sign covering it. So I know it's not going to show later, but it's just going now. I guess for later is more important. Scorpio, you guys are next, and I have to do it faster, otherwise we are going to be here 5 hours. And it's not a problem being 5 hours, but it's a problem that I don't have stamina for 5 hours of reading. I would just totally get trained with this. So Scorpio, let's click on your sign, Scorpio, here, and let's do that. Scorpio, oops. Scorpio, there we go. Stop shuffling, cat. Ooh, you have the priest. Like, this is the Hierophant. This is the opposite of your own sign. So there is like some kind of like counterbalance that is needed, which means usually the opposite comes when we need to tone down, where we need to kind of like reassess, reestablish ourselves. So the bottom deck is 8 of Fire. So there is like some kind of expression of love or emotion, or not so much love, maybe passion, or something is really, really happening very fast. And then maybe that usually that card shows up when something was moving slow. And it could be that, like during this Mercury retrograde, you wanted to kind of resolve certain things, and certain things were not resolved because everything was coming in a way, and sort of a thing. So the priest is always talking about morality. Let's make it official. Let's make it legal. To me, this is a marriage card as well. So let's see what else happens. Okay, you see the kitty cat now. Now we have the Five of C reversed. If you guys have broken up with somebody and it was like a case of cold feet, I would say, well, this is really telling me that now this person might be coming back. Or maybe you walked away because it was you who had this cold feet, and now it's kind of like time to reassess. And then you have like, I mean, Five of Skies. It could have been like the fives are not that great. So you have like, I mean, 3 5s, right? So 555 talks about some kind of instability, but like Scorpio almost thrives on it. Oh, give it to me, meow, 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 kind of a thing. But other people don't. So when this basically happens, you are getting stronger. It's almost like ripping a muscle, and then you get a new one, and like you get stronger, stronger, and stronger. But not everybody is able to react to it. And for the people who kind of have stability as a number one need in their life, this can be very difficult. But for you, is like, what do you mean stability? You never know what the love is until you try this and this and this. And Scorpio drags down and down and down and down, like into the depths of the passion and everything, right? So let me see what is here. Now you have Six of C reversed. So that's the Mercury retrograde. Something was happening. There was like some kind of emotional component. You see, it's going back to this Five of C. It's reversed. So it could have been that there was like somebody walking away, and now all you can think about is this person, or you walked away, and now when the dust has settled, you're thinking, oh my God, you know, I better fix it. I better do something. I better say something. The problem is like it's a very volatile situation over here. We have the cat, and the cat is really talking about the new beginnings. Let's start fresh. Let's hope for it, because this means also that you have reservations about how things will work, or if they're doable, if you can kind of like accept them. But when the cat or the fool shows up, it means, hey, you know what? It's one life to live, and I need to try it. And then again, maybe to somebody else, are you kidding me? You're jumping off the freaking cliff, because that's what it shows in the regular rider weight deck. But we are saying, yeah, watch me, because this is almost like a sense of invincibility when this card shows up. And for the longest time, I had love-hate relationship with this card. At this stage, I have love relationship. And then you have Eight of Sky. Okay, we need to have a talk now. Are you guys kind of like tangled up in some kind of like situation that is very tricky and has many prongs? Let's put, and I don't know why, it just like flashed before my eyes, Buddha's hand fruit. I don't know what this Buddha's hand fruit has to do with this, but it just kind of like feels that is telling me that there's like certain level of spirituality that needs to get you out of here, not necessarily struggle, because the sky is always about words and spirituality. So the words sometimes can hurt and can be too fast, can be irrational, you know, they can hurt as much as you know, throwing stones at somebody. But this card always tells me that there is a situation that is so complicated, which appears to be complicated, but is actually essentially simple. It usually shows for the people who are tangled up in, let's say, forbidden relationships. Let's say that somebody's still married and everything was going well, and all of a sudden you figure out, ooh, you know, they're not even close, they didn't file the paperwork, or there is like an element that is missing, that you feel it's a letdown, and you feel that you don't have the option, you don't know how to deal with that. You feel that the entire environment is kind of like coming toward you and feels a little bit, you know, hostile, I guess, right? Or you're reassessing this whole thing, and that's kind of like what this instability shows up. But look at that. You're having the wheel, which is the karma card, and it's in your own house. So you know what? This literally means the Wheel of Fortune. No way how you would spin it, and you're usually the part of this Wheel of Fortune. I don't know if you can see it here. That didn't do it greatly, because this is you, this kind of like little birdie with this like sign over here. So this is really telling me that no matter how you spin it, you're going to push it forward. You kind of like almost like feel you're owing it to yourself, you're going it forward. And then we have a 7 of Earth, and somebody's patiently waiting. Somebody's waiting and waiting and waiting, and they're kind of like reassessing their situation. They're like kind of building their case. And actually this is really what is needed for you, because I can see this is almost like stable card versus many of them are very action cards, right? So this is the person who's telling you to buckle up. This is the person who's saying, okay, you know what, I'm not so sure about this investment, that kind of stuff. And maybe you feel like, I mean, what the hell, you know, or I know better. Listen, just listen to this person this time around. And again, this is confirmation, 4 of Earth. Like I guess you're going to feel that somebody is feeling a little bit cowardly about moving forward. This could also mean like, why are you not resolving your situation? We are having it so good, and why is it that you're like still staying in that situation? But you know, just because you can doesn't mean that everybody else can, and you have to figure out what is it here that really bothers you, right? So the entire attitude here is like also the Emperor. Like it's telling you, it's really interesting because we have here emotional resurfacing of some sort, which is like your specialty Scorpio. But here it's really telling me that you really need to A, find out who are your friends and who are your enemies, and B, you need to really kind of like logically go into all of that, because these cards are really talking about I mean, this is like in your hopes and fears segment where you have a 4 of Pentacles. The kitty is holding all the toys for himself, which is not fun. You're not playing with them, you're not sharing them. It's just basically useless. They're going to become a mess in a short period of time. So this is really talking about the engagement and finding this balance. Interestingly, that both of 4s is really talking about stability. Again, how I started when I said that somebody is feeling very unstable because of your actions. Those actions are comfortable for you, but they are not comfortable for somebody else. So you really need to kind of like keep this in mind. I really want to see this 8 of Cups, oh sorry, 8 of Swords. So let's see. Oh, this one came up for here. It's melancholy, reversed. It was something in the past, as I said, like it was really feeling like that. That's the feeling. Oh, I just feel like having a cheesecake. Oh, which cheesecake do I want? Do I want strawberry? No, I want cherry. Like you're tasting it, but you don't have it. You need to go and get it, right? So this is kind of like I feel there's like something in your life that is creating that lure, and for you, that was a very strong kind of calling. But I really want to see this 8 of Sky here. And we have we have wife, we have death, and we have hope. So these are very strong cards. So clearly there is like possibly for some of you guys there's like somebody else who is like in a relationship where either they have some kind of entanglement, or you're suspecting there's a third party, or the third party is like so freaking annoying that is like almost like feeling that they're like with you in a relationship, and like you want this to end. You really want to end, and you're really hoping, but it's not your decision. It's not what you can do. I guess you pushed as much as you could, and it looks like they are not moving with the speed of light that you want to. But the hope card is really important. This is almost like a star saying that you're still very hopeful. You're still moving forward. And this is like why the Wheel of Fortune is here showing up for you guys. You have the Priest, you have the Cat, and you have the Emperor. So very strong cards in terms of major arcanas. So this is going to be one of those turnaround months for you. Just to tell you to be patient. You're not going to be. To tell you, like, you're going to be pushing, pushing, pushing. You're going to scratch yourself quite a bit. You're going to be lots of injuries in the process, but you know what you want. You're keeping your eye on a goal. As I said, also, if you guys getting married or you're going in any legal contract, then I would suggest dot all your I's and cross all your T's, because we are still in the Mercury retrograde shadow, and this is coming very strongly in your reading, that you need to kind of like really watch it and check it out. So let's see who is next. Let's remove the Scorpio here and let's pull another one. Who is next? This one. Cancer. Well, Cancer, happy birthday again. We did you already and you showed up. Did I forget to do something for you, Cancers? The next one is Sagittarius. Any Sagittarius over here, guys? Let's put your thingy here. And let's put the time here for me. See, took me 2 years to get it organized, but getting there. Better ever than never, right? So, Sagis. Can't believe it. It was even upsetting me when people would yell at me. Why you're calling it Sagis? This is disgusting. It's disrespectful. Oh, now I just click, block, delete, kind of a thing. So thank you for everybody joining in. I know this is like really a lot of reading. Next week we don't have a session because you guys will be celebrating your the Day of Independence. We have 1st of July, which I don't know if we are going to have celebrations because we had some really, really devastating news about how we treated, kids. And I really wish they actually cut the celebrations this kind of like year. So, my Sagittarius, you're starting with 4 of Sky. That's the first one that jumped, and this is like about recuperating. This is like about pulling yourself together. This is like, I just like, you maybe need aromatherapy kind of like situation over here. And it's crossed with 8 of Earth reverse, which means there's like some kind of exhaustion. You really try to get somewhere, you try to accomplish something, and there were lots of things that were forgotten in the meantime, in the interim. And it almost like feels like at work you need to kind of like you have a deadline and you kind of like deliver it, but then your boss tells you like, at the 11th hour, what the heck is this? And you're like, what? I already did something for you that was like impossible, and now you're going to look at this minuscule details kind of a thing. And then you have this Ace of Earth, which is really good and positive. So it's almost like you're recuperating, but you're also thinking about the future. You're also thinking about your new, let's say, projects. Like Earth always, or Pentacles always linked to your job, what I'm going to do, what kind of savings I'm going to do, what kind of investments I'm going to do. So this is kind of like positive over here. You have Earth Queen. So this could be your husband, your wife, somebody who you deem to be very important in your life for one reason or another. Or, interestingly, she's not on the top, she's on the bottom. So this means like, you just like feel this is really natural to you. So if you are, it can actually represent you as well, that you're falling into that mode where now you really want to build, and you want to build sort of like on the earth level. So far it feels that you'll experience really a lots of earth, kind of like how the earth feels this month. And this is like what I just said, Sky Tom or Knight of Swords coming here reverse. It's really telling me that it was like lots of activity. Something was really happening. You wanted to get somewhere very fast, but lots of things kind of like dropped off. If you are not aware, like kind of what happened, you're going to get aware really, really soon, because as I said, like people are going to be nitpicking, not realizing that you did a fabulous job given the circumstances kind of a thing. And there is this Nine of Sky. There is like some kind of like nightmare happening, something exploding in your face, something feeling not right. This kind of like feels like everything is coming in your way. There is like some kind of hostility, or it's just kind of like having a different, I guess, approach to things. But it's just like, to me, I sometimes call it wash machine brain, that sometimes we create, like we become magnetized with that bundle of negativity, and instead of just like going clip clip clip, sometimes if you have a pet, they're fur mats, and I have like a pet with long hair now, the dog, not a cat. You just need to cut it out. You just cannot brush it out. It takes too much pain to brush it out, to try to, so you just like need to cut it off. So this is like when they talk about burning your bridges, there's like something that you don't want to do. Interestingly, this is contrasting this Earth Queen. So maybe there's a situation, and for the longest time, guys, for almost 2 years, I have seen there were other people in your life, other people who were important, but who either didn't come toward you or you didn't come toward them. So it was complete imbalance, and you're trying to make things kind of like happen. And this kind of like almost like looks to me, again, the past is becoming present here, and it's kind of like part of that pattern. Three of Earth or Three of Pentacles, again, it's continuation of these new attitudes. Or you know what this could mean? That let's say you're in a long-term relationship that you just like fell. You just stop and smell lavender. I love it, knitting yogi. It's exactly it. You just like fell in a hole in a relationship. It's one of those kind of like tricky years or parts of this, and like you're thinking like, maybe I should just move out of it. It's done. It's dead. Somebody had on Instagram something I really laughed so hard. The woman goes to her boyfriend. She goes, honey, or husband, honey, would you like a chicken or fish for lunch? He goes, whatever you want. She goes, oh, if you want to break up, tell me now. Kind of a thing, right? So it's just like kind of like feeling that sensitive, that you're just kind of like expecting something negative to happen. You have a Seven of Earth over here. Interestingly, like, was it in a Scorpio reading? I think they had it in the environment, and I always saw you guys somehow connecting with Scorpio. So if you're one of those Sagittarius, like the first thought that came to my mind is like, you need to listen to your partner at a stage. If you're not linked with Scorpio, again, you need to really kind of like figure out what works and what doesn't work. And what does it mean? That means that you're simply reassessing, almost like in a logical way. Look at how much Earth. Look at, like I told you right away from the get-go, I'm feeling Earth like in this reading, and it's really showing up. So which means that you really need to stabilize, you need to reshuffle. This is like managing your portfolio. Oh, well, this stock didn't work well, or with this person I just have negative experiences. Let's minimize this, or let's remove this, kind of a thing. Well, with this person, always was fun, but like I didn't kind of like develop that too much. So maybe let's invest a little bit more time or more money into it. So that's kind of like what is almost like the instruction for this month. Then you have a cat magic, like the people in your life will be positive. They're going to be bringing solutions, like literally what they said. You need to listen to Scorpio, but like people in your life, if you ask, they are going to give you really good advice. It's going to feel great. The Magician is interesting figure, but you always have to worry about Magician because they always find a solution. Kind of like it does. Oh, can you do a nuclear bomb for me? Like almost like James Bond and all these villains. Yeah, sure I can. And then you get it, and then poof, destruction is going to follow. So that's why you kind of like need to check yourself always when you come in that arena of the Magician kind of a thing. Kelly's saying to me, and she is a Sagittarius, and I love these comments, currently focused on my business and needing a mini holiday for myself. So voila. Just looks like it's going to be cleaning and clearing a whole bunch of things, and it's asking of you that this is almost like this is a physical holiday, but it's mental work that is going to be happening over here. Ooh, hopes and fears, death, but it's reversed, and I don't like it. And I think this is connecting over here with something from the past, with something that has been painful, something. But when that reverses, and this is to me, oh my gosh, this card always makes me cry a little bit, because look at it, it's just lost all its lives. But when it's reversed, this card tells me there is the suffering that is really happening is unnecessary. Remember how I said, cut out the matted fur. Just cut it out. Like, forget it. Yeah, it's going to look weird on your dog. Yeah. But you know what? It's not going to pull him anymore. It's not going to hurt him anymore. Adding water to that is going to make it tighter. So water is usually a cleanse that we think that is happening if you're doing it the right thing, but instead it's just happening the opposite. So say no to pain. Easier said than done, I know. But if something keeps being painful, and this is like one of your best abilities, you have ability to say, that's it, that arrow, I'm going in a different direction. And the different direction is the moon. Interestingly, the moon card here, and I think, is it in July? No, it is in August, believe it or not. We're going to have 2 full moons, both of them in Aquarius. So buckle up for that one. So that means in July we have the full moon in Capricorn, which just happened, I think, a few days ago, right? And that one is very, very important. And it's almost like, I wish I'd actually did full moon in Capricorn, because this one is a big shift. It's really asking us to reassess. It's really asking us all to do the 7 of Pentacles, reassess what you have and what you really want to continue with. So the moon. The moon is about the dreams. The moon is about, again, this is basically what your house, the ninth house, is ruling. These big ideas, these big philosophies, these big illusions. The moon can also tank us, right? Because we kind of like look at the big eyes. Cat does see in the dark, and that's why it's so lovely to read the moon card when you see the kitty cat. Like, I'm completely blind bat when I go in the dark. Like, I had to learn to go and walk my dog in the dark and not to be scared on every single branch that I see. So this kitty cat is not only not scared, this kitty cat is moving forward. So my dear Sagittarius kitty cats, you are literally thriving on these new ideas. Like, look at this, you're going from this 9 to this 9. So it's cutting off the loose ends, literally, in everything for you this month. So you're cutting it off with people who just don't have any influence to you in your life, and you're like actually developing kind of like ideas how you're going to move it forward. So it's going to really feel as you might feel like in the lavender field. I just like need to sit and think, because you'll be getting contradictory message and contradictory ideas and what you really want to do. But ultimately, you will really need to cut off the loose dead weight. That's what you need to do. It's going to be very simple once when you figure out who are the people who are on your team, who are the people who will be there for you. Like, I don't know about you, I have lots of fair weather friends, and I totally know who they are. You know who you are. And I just take them in that. I'm not going to cancel my plans because they need something. And I'm going to treat them like, hey, like when I get together, yeah, I have time, I'll do it now. So it's not kind of like dramatic kind of decision. But, that's kind of like what I see here for you. So, no, sweetie, you didn't miss Taurus or Virgo. Not yet. So, what do I want to see? I want to see this Death card. And again, that's the connection with with Scorpio. If you guys are involved with Scorpio and it's painful relationship, you need to ask yourself why you're staying around, because it's just like saying you need to look into that. You need to look into maybe you're staying because of legal aspects, because the priest in this deck means lawyer, and such things about morality. It's the right thing to do, and I see that with you, Sagittarius. I need to do that because this is the right thing to do, but you're not feeling it. And I want to see this like 9 of Sky. Death. Kill the stuff. Not literally, please don't quote in front of the judge, oh, I killed them because Cat said so. Metaphorically, cut off things that don't work anymore. Literally cut off. Just imagine that you're like packing down some kind of like universe suitcase. Well, that's a cute word, actually. I really like that. Suitcase, and that you're moving somewhere. What would you take? What's the important thing to take? It's almost like you need to do that. You just like need to kind of like push this forward. That's really, really important. So I'm actually coughing less, and I don't know, like I got Moderna yesterday. It was like so freaking weird. And it's like, oh, can I get a Pfizer? No, you cannot get a Pfizer. Okay, well, give me what you have, kind of a thing. But I'm coughing actually a little bit less. So getting it, and luckily I don't feel any side effects. I like cake. Okay, so who is next? Who is next? I need to remove the Sagittarius icon for now and just see who is next. Next is Aquarius. We are next. Oh, that's amazing. Usually we are like always somehow tucked in the last. I don't know why is that, but Aquarius. And let me put the timestamp here, and then we are ready to go. And where is the timestamp? Oh, what happened here? Each time I moved, 45. Each time I move, this kind of whole screen that I have a communication with you goes away. I think I need to buy myself a second screen, but since I am moving soon, I think everything will have to wait. So let's go. Aquarius, when the moon is in the 7th house. Anybody watched Hair? This is like one of my most loved movies ever. And I know I didn't get good reviews or anything, but I just love it. That's kind of like the sense of freedom that really appeals to me. I just kind of like wish to be hippie, but then my Leo moon kicks in and he goes, you want to be hippie? Really? You want to sleep on a freaking floor? No. I'm going to check in kind of like 4 seasons and I'll see you in the morning kind of a thing. So let's see. Aqua rising. People, if you have a moon or if you have a moon ascendant or if you're Aquarius sun, that's kind of like really applicable on you. So there's like 8 of fire and we have earth tone over here, and this is to me very Aquarius card even though it is earth card. So there's like some kind of expression. We are getting busy. We are doing stuff, lots of things to do, lots of things to say to other people, to whatnot, what's going to happen. Very lovely card, and it's like 2 of sky and decisions. And it could be analysis paralysis I'm picking up here. I just got that kind of like suggestion flashing in front of my eyes. So just make sure you're not stuck. Instead, you need to keep doing things. Ooh, we got also 8 of sky or 8 of swords together with this 8. So this is it. It's going to be all or nothing for us, pushing us forward. From the past, yeah, we already looks like we are entering this month. So this is like end of July that we are at right now. June, the end of June. You see, Moderna has really weird effects. It's kind of like pushing me into kind of a different situation. I think improve my sense of humor too, which I don't have much. But, this is it. Like, I mean, something is holding us back. Is it situation? Is it the place? Is it something that we are still mulling it in our heads, guys? Very important, because this is a suggestion that we literally know what it is and we are still stuck in the situation. Because this kitty, ultimately, look at this kitty, like almost like a Safi. Get me out, get me out, get me out. But the birds are coming, the rain is coming. Oh my gosh, there's freaking roots. But if you just kind of think through it, she can really get through it in a kind of like really easy way, right? It's not going to be a big stuck kind of like a feeling over here. So that usually indicates that sometimes these decisions are kind of like we are settled with these decisions. There's like somebody who is coming in our life. There's like the third party. There's like somebody who maybe got us stuck at some point and we need to get unstuck. So this is like a reminder. Ooh, and it's also crossed with the death reversed, which is interesting because they put it straight back and now it's getting reversed. Again, it's telling us something is causing us pain. Something we really need to deal with, something we really need to severe. And it's that something is maybe somebody, it could be somebody who is a Scorpio. The other side of Scorpio is Taurus. Scorpio or Taurus, we need to kind of like severe from our life because that's causing just pain, just like we are stuck. We need to kind of like spread our wings and fly instead, like we fear everything that is coming our way, and that suffering is absolutely unnecessarily. And it's kind of universe talking to us, said, what do you want? How do you want me to help you? This joke, and I shouldn't be talking about Scottish jokes, right? When the father and the son are going to America, right? And the son is like, Dad, when we are going to get there? And Dad goes, well, just shut up and swim, right? It's kind of like that sort of things, kind of like, look, it doesn't matter even if it's it's ultimately cheap, right? And it's European joke because just here we kind of like more consider Dutch as very kind of like efficient with their money, but in Europe it will be the Scottish kind of a thing. So it's kind of like no matter what card have you been dealt with, just keep going. It's very important, and you need to do something to create your own luck, but you also did something to create your unlucky periods. Then we have Grace, and I really love it. We didn't see this card in a long time. This is basically Temperance. And look at this. Kitty cat is walking through these pathways and not liking, like, you just you leave a drop on Safi, and she's like, phew, she's gone. She becomes this kitty cat, gone, kind of a thing. Water, yuck, which is strange. She's a tropical cat, right? But this is really talking about patience. It's really talking about things are doable. And maybe this is simply kind of like our attitude that kept us going, because we also, just like Scorpio, have that phoenix connecting to our sign. And it could be like that there's like almost like sense of identity built into some kind of like people or emotions that are really happening. But we are moving on. We are listening to the universe. The Chariot showed up here. Oh my gosh, like this is like fire, this is water, this is like water. So it's going to be emotional. It's going to be something where we feel it's our time. We are moving forward. And what I really like about, it's actually technically wrong thing what they did, but I like it about this deck. We have these Great Danes. But usually the whole idea of Chariot card is like to paint these two whatever mythical creatures that are actually moving in the opposite direction, and you really need to have that leadership qualities to kind of like put them all on the same page, right? As we see, there are like no reins, and the kitty cat is basically telling them. But like what I liked about it is like there is like process already happening that we see in this picture. Like there's like somebody who is way more powerful, way more bigger, like way more kind of like stronger than the kitty cat, but still is listening. And this is falling in our house, guys, here, which is like meaning like that we really need to make decisions on our own. No input from the outside, and we need to really grab the wheel and press the pedal. That's kind of like what it needs. Maybe this is saying like, patience is good, but at this stage, kind of like you need to create your own destiny a little bit over here, right? And then we have Seven of Sky. Somebody, and this is again, somebody's trying, like Eight of Sky, Seven of Sky, right? So we have a sevens, we have eights, and this is going to look really interesting that is really showing up as a pattern. Somebody wants to take something away from us, or will take something away from us. In any case, they're showing us who they are, right? So this is not going to be easy. We're going to clarify this. Maybe this is like, our guild. One thing about Aquarians, I know we come across to the other people as a pain in the butt, right? But one thing about us, we are loyal to the core, and we are going to almost die before we kind of like remove our teeth from something that we have promised to do, or die, right? And clearly here it feels like, no, we need to cross this bridge. We need to let go of something, some promise we have made, but looks like that this promise is not doable, or somebody who we need to kind of render the promise to is not anymore willing to. It's kind of like changing. The shift is happening over here. Let's see, hopes and fears. The balance is coming into place over here. And the last one would be Nine of Fire. Yeah, we are not anymore continuing with something that has been long going, long expecting. Look at this very strong major, very, very strong major arcana. So this is the air, and it's hopes and dreams. Like we said, okay, I please God or please universe, if I let go of this, how is this going to affect me, right? Is this going to kind of like create something bad in the universe, right? Is going to affect my karma? How am I really helping? Am I helping? So it's almost like we really need to organize the ways around that promise and either load it down on somebody else, or simply say, I just cannot do it. I am not capable of doing it. I don't think it's because we don't want to. I think it's more like that it's not doable anymore, which is making it really, really painful. So be careful. There's like somebody here who is trying to take advantage of the situation. Let me see, what is that Seven of Sky? Seven of Sky. Okay, there's three cards. Seven of Sky is talking about reunion. So guys, if you are planning to be with somebody, and somebody maybe who betrayed us, somebody who made lots of promises, it actually could mean somebody was making promises to us and it's finally hitting us. We knew it intellectually, but we didn't comprende it emotionally, right? Because Aquarians have a difficulty opening that door. And there is the sorrow. It's the end of sorrow. And it's kind of like understanding this person was playing us, which is always painful, kind of like licking your wounds. But at the same time, it's very efficient because then you really don't feel this karmic guilt. So, for example, you're dealing with somebody who, I don't know, example, you're nurturing somebody back to health. That's what usually 11th sign, or if you have 11 in your chart, in your numerology, or if you have Aquarius in your chart, you will have that 11. And then you kind of heal this kind of like wounded bird. So somebody, oh, my wife is treating me so badly. I'm separating, but man, I'm just so confused, which is all normal. You nurse them to health. You fall in love with them in the meantime. And then they fly away, and now they're feeling healthy. They're seeing their relationship in a different way. And sometimes Aquarians, and that's what I said, is kind of like insistence to make this good on promise is like even convincing them they have to go back to that relationship, which is good karmically, but it's bad emotionally, right? So this is kind of like learning, hey, what the hell is wrong with you? A kind of like wounded bird is good, but like get other people to get in the situation. You need to kind of like do something else. And I want to see this death reversed. Why is that here? Here is like a friend reversed. Yeah, of course. How can you harm Aquarius if you just stop being the friend? So somebody who we consider close is either dead or let us down. And clearly you cannot take a bigger knife from the drawer. You cannot create and twist a bigger wound. And that's why I'm saying it's unnecessary suffering, because this is really telling me we know that. We should know that. Something is going on that we should be aware of. So why are we insisting on reassassinating? I'm creating all these words. Like, I mean, I need to kind of like write it down. Resuscitating somebody who doesn't want, somebody who has this do not resuscitate kind of like code in their chart, right? So it's very important that you need to ask yourself, why am I trying to continue with this when this is freaking dead, kind of like done, right? So my dear Aquarians, it's going to be a really interesting month, that's for sure. How am I doing with time? 1, 2, 3, 4 signs. I need to speed it up, but it's almost impossible. When I need to tell you something, I need to tell you something. So let me see what people said here. Look at the rainbow in the water. Yeah, that's interesting because, yeah, you need to kind of like make your own thing and make it good on it, right? So, Chris, when I was young, there was a supermarket with a whole line of grocery product called Scotch Bar. It's okay to make fun of white people these days. Yeah. No idea what Scotch Bar is, but Scotch is a popular brand for sticky tape. Well, here as well in the southern hemisphere, which pops in mind reading your comments. Well, in Europe, like, I mean, there's like this whole bunch of jokes that is being told about Scottish people, because this is what is really good. That was a really good thing that stayed with me from Europe, even though here it's very inappropriate to talk about these jokes. It's really, really because of humbleness. Yes, we joke and laugh at the other nations, but we also very much laugh at ourselves as well, kind of like how. And also I really like that humility that kind of like Europeans have. I'm sort of crossing between North American and European, but I kind of like really like the humility, kind of like you never take yourself too seriously, which allows you to actually accomplish much more. So, Madame and Monsieur, Aries is the next. So let's go, Aries. Aries. Oh yes, in the Temperance card was the rainbow. Well, this is the whole idea that you're merging, right? Two very opposing elements, right? Temperance is really talking about it. You can now make it happen, but it takes patience. It doesn't happen fast because it's a fire sign, but a fire sign is telling you, hey, you know what, just take some time and work on your alchemy, right? Kind of a thing. So Aries, what do we have for you here? This one wanted to come out. Woo, Three of Sky. This one wanted to come out. But it is coming out. And Five of Fire. So there is like somebody is inflicting pain on you. There's like something that is like really heartbreaking over here. But look at the card over here. It's like so interesting because, oh, look, the kitty, like, you know how the cats are? Off you go. Off you go. They just remove the things from the table. Last time Safi was here, she removed a whole bunch of crystals. I have to pick them up from the floor and hope that they're not really broken and stuff. But I don't know why they have this sense of cleanliness, and everything that to them is just too much. They tell you, look, this needs to be cleaned. But this is what's happening here. There's like cleaning the house. You need to get to the basics. Basic is almost yes or no. You know, like when you watch these long-winded videos on YouTube, me included, and then what is it? Is it yes or no? Like when people would ask me, is your ex coming back? So assumption is like it's yes or no. Unfortunately, it takes a little bit more details, and it could be conditional yes, could be conditional no, just like in our pick a card kind of a thing, right? But here it is kind of like something really, really bothering you. Something like where you're insisting that your ideas are correct, your ideas are right. This is like a Five of Wands. It's usually a battle of the philosophies in life, or a battle in kind of like core values in life, which can be even more difficult. And it's almost like that somebody wants you to do something that is not in agreement with who you are. And here you have a Sea Queen. So there is a nourishment of a sort. You do have a support. You have somebody watching your back. You have that soft place to fall, which is really important. A Six of Sky, a Six of Sky, and a Five of Fire. Like, it almost like sounds like Aries to me, isn't it? So Six of Sky is where we basically win, but we win by not engaging in the fight, but sort of like walking away, because the winning here is hidden in understanding that we just kind of like need to realize that this situation is not having a solution. So usually when I have coaching sessions, whenever somebody is talking about yelling or screaming, then I know the problems are not resolved. They're like just emotions that are so tangible, that they are kind of like really on the surface. So emotions, and the problem cannot be solved as long as the emotions are not expressed, right? So something happened here, probably during this Mercury retrograde, because this is clearly connecting to it, and you got clarity on what you need. Somebody, maybe you feel it was taking advantage of you, was telling you how to do things. If you're the boss, maybe you said, you know what, I love all of that working from home, but your internet is dropping, then I'm hearing the kids, I'm hearing pets, it just doesn't work. We need to kind of reassemble or do it differently, because this kid's gonna go. It's kind of putting your foot down on what needs to happen. So it's kind of like, but it's based on learning lessons over here. And then you have the Cat, and you have the Fool. It's a new fresh start with somebody like really, really there for you. So this is actually really lovely. And this is kind of like Uranus that you're talking about, and Uranus is always God, as you know, from mythology. So it is kind of jumping. And I don't have to tell you that you're going to jump, because you will. You're Aries. It's very easy action for you. Oh, this is Fire Queen. This could be you, and you are coming back to that sense of who you are, how great you can be. So how all these things that bog you down, you're not allowing them to bog you down. So it's very important to kind of like have this emotional download as well. Two of Cups. So guys, if you have this also can be seen as a couple of people being here. This also can be seen as a mother. This can be seen as you. So it can be facets of your life, somebody who is very supportive, but it can be, for example, if you're male, there are two different people as well showing up, or it's also if you're female, because this is no gender in a general reading. So Two of Cups, and it's in your own house. You crave love, you expressing love, you are going in a new emotional phase for you. So this is not so much business action, but it was some kind of hurt that you're leaving behind and you're pushing it forward. And there is a Three of Fire, and somebody else, this is in your environment, so somebody else is willing to dance with you. They are fully on board. They're fully willing to move forward. And it's also kind of like fire. So fire, 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 which means there is emotion happening. You have air and fire. It's always really good. But also this water is balancing you out. So I really like the energy that I'm reading, that I'm seeing over here. And Earth Tome is, to me, always about friendship. Always like, okay, take care of the weak ones. So if you are the head of the family, either a husband or a wife, or a mother or a father, you are kind of like really focusing on your children in the situation. You're saying, what do they need? I am taking this responsibility. You're assessing yourself. Oh my gosh, this is so big, Aries. Like, you're assessing your ability or inability as a parent or as a husband or as a wife to kind of like push this forward. This is a very positive card, and you are kind of like really finding ways in actually to move things ahead, right? Ooh, demon cat. That's a temptation. That could be the X. So that could actually talk about that slice of people that maybe have the options, and the option that you're going to think you need to do is, well, don't I have both, kind of a thing. If you go and choose both, then you're betraying yourself. You're not being that friend. You're not being kind of like that honesty person. And it's kind of difficult, I have to say, because you will see that both people in your life are so good. One is kind of giving you this emotional comfort. Another one is giving you that action that you really like. But the one that gives you action doesn't really give you emotional comfort, and vice versa. So this is why this difficult is very, very, that's why it's very difficult pick to make. Usually what you do with these kind of people, you kind of keep going on without committing, which is a thing very hard for Aries. You guys are all or nothing people. So you either like somebody and chase them, chase them, chase them, and they like this chase, and then you catch them, and then you stop chasing them, and then like, ugh. And that's where things can fall apart, kind of a thing. Demon cat also could mean that you're entering the stability of some kind of case, especially if you're dealing with a Capricorn. If you're not dealing with Capricorn, that means you need to reassess things from the past. And there was a reason why you kind of like walked away from something, and the reason why you walk away from something might be coming back, because this is another 6 that is really showing up. So maybe it's some kind of like loose end still from Mercury retrograde period, or it could be something from the past. It could be not so many legal issues, but it could be parenting schedule. It could be exes meddling in your relationship, hearing some bad things about somebody. So you need to be able you need to kind of like figure out how to, or maybe somebody's just reacting to you walking away from something, and it's dragging you back. But this person is hard to resist. I know you're saying, oh, I can handle it, Tarzan chest and bumping. No, you can't, because the demon cat or the devil card is so powerful that you feel, oh my gosh, I deserve it. I'm worth it, right? All of these messages, these are devil messages, guys. I'm worth it. I'm great. Yeah. I should buy this Mercedes. Yeah, I'm worth it. And then, how do I pay for it? What did I get myself in? How will I go through the 4 years of this, kind of a thing, right? So it's very alluring. Very much you are convincing yourself that you can do it. So be careful. So let's check this one out. 2, 4, 5. And you have fortune. It's going to be possibly some investments. Be very careful. This could be a financial investor as well. Something that you think you can get ahead. It might be simply that you're going to do something reckless. It's going to work for you. That will always bring the results initially. This is also codependent relationship. When you're in a codependent relationship, somebody's always great. And then they show you, when they take off the mask, who they really, really are, right? So that's why, let me check this 3 of Swords that you have. It was something devastating for you. It was some news about somebody that made you kind of like depressed, or you were in pain. So let me just see, who are these people in your life? So this Sea Queen is somebody who maybe is appealing to your protective nature. Oh, I need protection. You have a Melody card here. Yeah, because of you, I am healing. I'm getting better. They're like really appealing to your ego, and that's appealing. But then you need to check your own ego. versus, let's see what this Fire Queen does. She's even giving you nothing, right? It's a constellation reverse. She's not patting you on the back. So she's saying, no, no. If you want to be with me, I mean, this is male or female, you need to be my equal partner. You need to pull your own weight. So, of course, I can see how this decision is becoming very, very difficult for you. But trust me, this one is better. It's going to kind of like go very far with this. But sometimes if you feel wounded, as you felt wounded, we kind of go against our nature. And it's kind of like temporarily insanity that we may experience. So your gal is Aries rising. So interestingly enough, here are the options in your gal's life over here. It's really interesting, or simply kind of like needs to deal with in which direction to go. So let's see, Kylie, choosing not to engage in the drama triangle with the Scorpio comes to mind. That's right, because they will thrive on it. You know what they say, when you wrestle with a pig, you get all muddy, but the pig likes it. So that's kind of it. So, okay, one more thing, and then we will do pick a card. I didn't bring the special deck for pick a card, so I have to think of something that I already have on the table, how to use it. Virgo is next. Is my knitting yoga still here? The break. And I know that we are probably prying in your break, but at least you probably can hear yours. So let's do Virgo. Oh, I need to remove that little Aries sign. And please remind me if I don't do that, because I actually did anticipate it, something like that is going to happen. So Virgo, you are having 5 of Swords. It's kind of like sticking to your own clan. It's so which one are you? Are you the ones who are like defending the clan, or are you trying to be a part of some clan where you don't feel like, I mean, you're accepted, you feel like you're a square peg in a round hole kind of a thing? There's like a not a fit. We're going to see that. No shuffling. And then you also have the moon on the bottom. So you have big vision. You have like, I mean, good intentions. You're very creative. This also connects with the movies. I don't know, maybe you're going to have a movie month kind of a thing. But this is really telling me that you're like, you're in the wrong place, you're in the wrong time, you're with the wrong person. There's like really somebody here who is not accepting of you. But this is crossed with the consequences, with the justice. This is karma card. Interestingly enough, if you feel this opposition, if you feel this is happening for a reason, which means this person, and this is very important, has been with you in your past lives. And there is like a time to rebalance it. So if something is happening, we are going to see what is the prescription for it, right? But if something is happening, there's like a time to detangle. There is a time to kind of like push things forward. So then we have Ace of Wands reversed, which talks about if you already had issues with this person before, and this is now reappearing, it's a time to cut off loose ends. It just is. It's over. It's just done with, right? Ace of Fire means it's just not going to work. Do not fight for it. It's futile. And maybe this is putting things in balance. Maybe this is something that kind of like gets you, that you're trying and hoping, because this is also like really like both of these cards really talk about a vision, talk about good intentions, right? But no good deed goes unpunished kind of like comes to mind when it gets to this, right? Earth King. So it could be that you're starting your business, or it could be that you have somebody who's a businessman or somebody who is a really money savvy helping you in your life, being in your life, which is kind of like really beneficial over here. Ooh, you have the Tower. So it's going to be some kind of shakedown. This could be a power struggle of some sort. It could be that it's simply telling you, look, you keep pushing in one direction, keep pushing, and it cannot go. Almost like tells me that you're not going to listen anything I'm telling you over here. Nothing. Nada. Zippo. And the Tower happens. Usually happens when kind of like it's a shakedown. Which part you did not understand? You have the holes in the road and going to kind of like blast your tires. You're going to die. You need to do it properly. Go to the proper road. It doesn't matter. Blah blah blah. You know, like the story how it ends. So tower is happening if you don't listen to this. If you don't do these adjustments yourself. Ten of Earth is like finding refuge with your own family, with your own comfort, with your own ideas, with your accomplishments, your Earth sign. So this is like kind of grounding you. And it's also with the Earth King. You could be Earth King, guys, as well, where you felt really comfortable in your own skin, where you felt really comfortable at this kind of like position that you have in life at this stage. And then we have also Sky King. And this is like in your own house. This is very spiritual. This is very, again, Sky King and consequences is about the same, with consequences of course being a karma card, and this is something we can affect. It's talking about justice, it's talking about balance, it's talking about we need to assess all of these attitudes, all of the sides, including my own, right? So he's so righteous that he's going to rule against himself if he feels, oh gee, I didn't understand this, I didn't realize it, but I am doing it now, kind of a thing, right? So there is the attitude of this lavender field here as well, but this is in your environment, which means maybe people are unreachable. Maybe it's kind of like hard to convey decisions, but this is also a very spiritual card. In the regular deck, it shows a knight giving his prayers to God, universe, for surviving, for coming out on, like, I mean, in the light, they're kind of like way through the tunnel, through the light. And even though you did it, we are still very affected with everything that has been happening. It was some kind of like turbulence. So maybe, you know, like there feels like somebody's inviting you to this balance. Like for you, needing yoga, it could be simply a seminar in some kind of meditation of a sort, right? Lavender always to me suggests the connection with the higher power, right? Because it affects our crown chakra and our third eye chakra. So it's very, very important. So hopes and fears, we have a Four of Seeds. Again, we have this four. It's saying in order to stabilize, you need to kind of like withdraw a little bit. You need to rest, maybe disconnect as well. And that especially goes for you who are trying to force things happen. And almost like the reason why you're not pushing this ahead, the reason why it didn't really work out is because the universe doesn't want it to happen. So this is almost telling you, go back to the basics, the family, who you are, your authenticity, and being really fair and really, really serving your higher power. And then you have also Fire Queen here, interestingly enough. So this tells me there are a whole bunch of people coming through your life. They kind of like don't necessarily show as a couple. They're kind of like really different over here. So if you're looking to be with somebody, that means these are options. But this is falling in your house. This is falling in the past. And the Fire Queen, mostly I would say would be you, that there is like this essence when you kind of go through this, and it's going to be deep in energy, guys, absolutely this month, starting from the 4th and going to the 22nd. You'll feel that you need to slow down. Maybe you're going to have a vacay. You're going to kind of like have a little mini break of a sort. But the Fire Queen could mean, okay, I'm back to doing it. Fire Queen is usually a lawyer. Fire Queen is usually kind of like somebody who organizes the stuff, which is very appealing to you as well. So you're kind of like going into this, oh my God, I was like doing nothing for a while, now I have to redo it. But this is a focus to have in mind, but it's not that you didn't do anything, guys. You have been doing a lot. You have been doing lots of reshuffling. So let's check this Tower thing over here. I see your classes get done on July 3rd. Perfect. So the Tower is coming up with, yeah, journey is not moving forward. Something is not moving forward. How much clearer can it be than that? Something that you have planned, which is very important to you, is not going forward. Why? Does it say even why here? Yeah, it's not well conceived. The baby means a new project, something else. Something is not moving forward. So the month is really for resting, guys. The month is, and this is almost like is like this card as well here, that is like doubling it up. No, something cannot be revived. Something is supposed to stop, and that way you are bringing this equilibrium. That way you're telling, Okay, so you are only responsible for you, not for the other people, right? You can be responsible if you do nothing, mind you. So you're watching somebody being murdered and you do nothing, so at least you have that moral kind of like sense that you have to do something about the situation if you can, kind of a thing, right? But not to take somebody else's karma. It's not on you to make decisions for the other people. And this is clearly telling you there's like something that you are taking on, some kind of like burdens, something that now you need to release. And you also need to give yourself pat on the shoulder and kind of like enjoy kind of like how things move forward. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is it time now for a little mini break with doors? How come that Barbie didn't announce it? Barbie like what's going on? So here we go. Oh, what? This moved? Why did that move? Why did that move? Ah, okay, this goes back. And let's go. Let's see if I can move this as I am here. I tried to get a new sign. The other one was kind of getting a little bit stale. So here we go. I said I don't have it on the table, so I'm going to use Lenormand cards for these answers today. So guys, door number one, something flicked. Door number two, and door number three. Voila. Let me remove this here. Where is it now? Yeah. Now back here. Timestamp. Sorry for my coughing in advance. Your graphics and icons CAD. Oh, thank you. I just realized everything is happening the last moment. For me, this is morning and Saturday in the morning. I'm not the morning type. And I just kind of said, okay, let's kind of like do something. You will see when I move, I really plan to revive everything. So for now, I'm just like sailing through and we will see what happens. Meaning Yogi, 2 exes have tried to contact me in the last few months. I haven't responded. It would mean taking on effing stuff that is not mine. Exactly. I want someone who can handle their own stuff. They're contacting you because you have the healing capacity, right? You have that 11 buried in you and they need healing. And if you need right now your own project, just let them go and heal with somebody else who wants to do that. Exactly. You're not a babysitter. So guys, if you ask for the door number one, just let's see. Ooh, what do you think this is? This is a clear yes. But this is not something big. Clover is luck for sure, so it is the yes answer. It's a positive card. But Clover is also talking about smaller lucks. Kind of like, yeah, if there's a choice between the two things, you're going to choose the pretty one. Never mind. It's a yes answer. Let's see. The door number 2 is the ring. It's also a yes answer. So this is about some commitment, or something is coming a full circle, or something is, doable. I love the rose over here. Just love this deck. And my pixie deck as well, but this one as well. The roses under the roses, I think it's called. So this is like also like, as you see, the Ace of Clubs, I believe, which kind of like talks about going in a new direction, a new revival. So this could mean that you guys are getting into the next stage. If your question was about relationship, yep, he might ask. Or if it's about a contract, yep, it's going to work out. Yes, you're going to win. That kind of stuff. This one is really, really powerful, yes. And then number 3 is the Whip. Now, and it's 11 in this deck, and it's like a Jack of Clubs, which can be like also kind of like the Ace of Clubs when it comes in tarot. Now this is really interesting to me. So this can talk about sex, this can talk about allure of the unknown, but this can also talk about suffering. So it's almost like that I have to tell you this is going to be a yes with a big caveat. Yes, but this is not good for you. Yes, you shouldn't be doing this. Yes, please don't do that. Please don't even consider this yes. That's kind of like what is really happening here. Kylie was going to say that to get I'm attracting male clients lately seeking healing. Oh my gosh, guys, I really tell you, learned it from my example, and I think this is the reason why I gained weight. It's just like I just like really needed that energy for all of these, I call them Klingons coming into my life. I need this and I need this and I did, and I was like so sweet and trying to do it, and I had to get to the point, and at one point I got too harsh. Off you go somewhere else. So now it's just I want to help people, and I will tell them that I will help you, but you need to help yourself first, and you need to show me that you're doing certain things, right? If you're not, I'm withdrawing myself. So it's kind of like I'm fulfilling my karma and my calling, but I am not trying to drag them on, right? Interestingly, Aquarius reading, when I saw it, I was thinking, okay, with my dad, this is becoming obnoxious. I'm trying to help, I'm trying to help, I'm trying to help. He doesn't want any help. He doesn't want it. Nobody's helping me, no doctors, nobody's helping me. So, okay, I just need to kind of like say, universe, I really tried. That's all I can do, because this is why I hesitate to move, because I want to keep my eye on him. But it looks like it's very inefficient. So, 3, let's see. Barb, I think, hello again. I'm still in the same rant. Choose. Not willing to do something for someone who is not willing to do it for themselves. Or for you, right? Or for you. So don't be first always to give. Just, again, fair weather friend, can you do it? If you want to do it, do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Just kind of like put yourself first. Gemini. Who is Gemini? Anyway, this goes for Gemini moon, for the ascendant, and for the sun sign, but it also goes for example, Sagittarians and everybody who has Sagittarian in their chart, because that's the, like on a teeter-totter, how, one part goes up, another part goes down. So yeah, if something goes down, it's going to affect you as well. Timestamp. Okay. I already know that I made too many spaces in between the letters, so when I upload my rocket book, it's going to need fixing, but that's all right. Holistic therapy is what I do. Exactly, Kylie. Book an appointment, right? That's one of my things, is like that I don't really do free readings, and this was so hard because I know so many people needed help. I mean, this is technically free, but I'm doing this because you guys are giving me energy, so it's kind of like the exchange, right? But man, that was really, really hard one for me. That's how I learned that you need to preserve your energy, right, and everything else, right? So I picked 2, but it was about being able to do trauma yoga program as independent study. So it's really interesting because you see, for trauma yoga, the whip card is whip is also about sexuality, and keep in mind that trauma is connecting to sexuality, which means you'll probably have the people who have daddy issues, childhood issues, that something really, really happens there. So it's kind of important to reassess that, yogi, that don't heal the symptom, just heal the problem, right? So Gemini. Oh, there we go. We have the moon. So I think the full moons will be affecting you quite a bit. This is again about creativity. This is again moving forward. This is also about confusion. The bottom card for you is like 4 of Wands. It's also a positive card, whether or not it's up or down. 4 of Wands is going to the next stage. It's going to be some kind of hurdle. And that hurdle is going to consist of putting the right things in the right place. It's really, really interesting because this is kind of like a vision that you have for you, and it's almost like palatable. You're almost like developing it, but you are at the same time not really pragmatic in how to develop it. Well, we'll see if you are, if you're not. It's 8 of C, 8 of Cups. Interesting. So there is an emotional component, my dear Gemini, over here. You know, like how I always see also the flavor for all the signs. The flavor was that each of us that have the certain, let's say, element, so like air, it's not going to be so much airy. It's going to be some other element that will be developing, that we need to develop, right? So for you, that is going to be your emotional state. It's almost like you're coming back to some issues. You wanted to finalize something, but some issues are creeping back or appearing, or you're realizing, wait a minute, why am I looking for it when I had it all along? Like, this is like a really important message when you get into Eight of Cups. In the traditional Rider-Waite, as you know, the guy just walks away in the darkness. Like, why would you want to do that kind of a thing? But this is really talking about that, hey, actually, I'm glad I tried it. It's like, like when you date somebody and people say, yeah, I'm not so sure if I want to commit. I want to try some more. And then they walk away from you. Say, okay, I have to set you free kind of a thing, right? And then they come back to you, and then this is it. That's kind of like what I really see prominently over here with you. Hi, Lorna, Gemini Sun. And we also have a 7 of C. So look at this emotional component. This is actually not bad. So it's almost like you're tracking back. You're tracking back the point where things got bad. And this is like the soap balloons. Hi, my bubbles. Well, is that proper word in English? Sorry. The moment when you touch them, they vanish, and everything that you thought it's there, it's not there. So this is kind of like getting grounded. It's kind of like understanding, hey, fine, okay, just fine. And you're seeing things for what they are. It's almost like you're able to be vulnerable, right? You're able to, and vulnerability, it's either happening when you're very weak or you're very strong. And that's why it's very hard to gauge, right? Because we want to protect vulnerable people, but also to be vulnerable needs to be self-protection in it as well, because you just cannot do it if you're going to get yourself exposed or burned, if another relationship is just going to bring you pain. But when you feel, no matter what comes my way, even if you burn me down, I'm going to dust myself up, and F you, I'm going to walk away, I'm going to be strong, kind of a thing. So this is almost like you're removing, there's like a component of you dreaming big, but there's also another component, we did see this for once. Another component is really telling me you're removing your rose-colored glasses over here. And this could be about some kind of commitment. You might be getting out of marriage, out of some kind of commitment, or maybe you did go out of it because it's falling in the past, or there's like some arrangement, some agreement that is modern one, let's call it. Like, I have no problem with that, but you're just not seeing this as doable anymore. There's like something that is really, really bothering you about that. And the time for doing nothing is gone. That's what the 4 of Cups really shows up with it. Maybe, there was some kind of boredom. If so, that can actually talk about relationships where you might have a Taurus, you might have Scorpio, you might have Pisces kind of like in your life. That's kind of like what is really showing up. So you might have these kind of like a rough patch. You may have issues with money and how to kind of like move things forward. You may feel, okay, maybe you have been sick, maybe, the sickness, and I don't know why migraines are coming to mind, have been emotionally kind of like produced. So that's all kind of indicating that you're having Temperance reverse, which technically is you, because Sagittarius is the opposite from you. Interestingly enough, it's kind of like balancing the Priest reversed, which means that something is not doable. I think it's almost like telling me it's a realization of something and a direction, and that something just cannot happen. So let's see what is in your house. You have a 10 of Cups reversed, which means you're putting on a happy face. You're putting on a brave face. You are totally not letting people know. You have your game face on, right? Because something is really happening, that is construction going on in your universe, big construction, and it really looks like a rubble. And I'm sorry, I just like this freaking Miami house just went through my head thinking about that, right? Because just part of the house went down, and it was something not foreseeable that happened with the land. And apparently today I listened on the radio, it was something because of the salt. But you're saying, no, I'm just fine. None of that. It's almost like you're not allowing this to affect your vision, because this vision is almost like so cherished for you that you don't want anything else to come in the way. But This could be divorce, guys. This could be breaking up with somebody, or somebody is breaking up with you. And maybe this kind of like makes sense that you try to work on something or with somebody, and now you're just realizing this is not doable. That can talk about the contracts, kind of like that you're getting out of these contracts, that something is just, you know, something is not helping your happiness over here. Man, that's going to be a big month here for you. And then the Fire Queen reversed, which again, it's you and it's hopes and fears. You're like feeling let down, and yet almost like that is now telling me, okay, now you're being stubborn over something that is not doable. You have understood this to some level, but look, we don't have swords. The only time you have air is basically falling not in your categories. Falling is like, who are the people and how they'll affect you. So these people will be coming from the outside saying, oh, I need to do it, this is not doable. I said, no, it is. So you're cooking this freaking recipe, you don't have the main ingredients, and you still insist it's going to happen when everybody's telling you it's going to flop. And there is like also Earth Queen. This is again, somebody is stopping being a wife, somebody stopping being in a relationship, somebody just doesn't see it, or somebody's being a whiny king or whiny queen, and maybe there's like, spending that is really happening, that somebody wants money, and it looks like there is like a shortage of money over here. So be very careful with money, guys, this month. Oh my gosh, like, did you get all reversed? All but one is reversed over here. So it's going to feel like you're going to feel like you're in a cell shaker, that like whole world is upside down. Mind you, some of these reversals are good ones, right? So like this is a good reversal. This can mean a good reversal, meaning like something just needs to happen, and as a result it's kind of like propelling you forward of some kind of like sword. Hey, good morning, creative girl, how are you? You're finally awake. Something jumped through. Look at this, the priest and death and pleasure. Oh my gosh, this is, guys, it's a breakup, it's a divorce, it's the third party that is kind of like really suggesting something is just not doable, something just has to be put down. Pleasure seekers, it's again, it's kind of like when you don't have really control of your, of anything, right? It just depends how much of jolly fellow or girl you are at this stage. I would say in the combination, it's not a really good combination. So guys, this is a very strong reading, and I'm sorry this is not necessarily very positive, but I feel it could become very positive, because it is the person over here in your life who is bringing all of those negative vibes, who is kind of like introducing things that, you know, you try to work with, you try to make them happen, but it just like, it looks like one trick after another, and everything that you tried was not successful, and it's getting to the realization, okay, I cannot jump this high, I cannot do this, and it's just like, it's time to kind of like just release and let go. So nice seeing you, Knitting Yogi. It was so lovely to chat with you. So hopefully see you in 2 weeks again. So so who is next? So let's see, let's remove Geminis. Here's my cough coming, and I thought that I finally stopped coughing again. So who is next? How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next one is Pisces. Okay, Pisces. Alrighty, Pisces. Here is like your little thingy, and let me put a stamp. It's too bad that Barbie cannot anymore put these things, because she always did this prettiest freaking icons possible. Okay, Pisces, let's see. Pisces, we are starting. The bottom of the deck is rest and relaxation, R&R. It looks like that's going to be theme of the month. We're all tired of pandemic, of the messaging, of nobody knows what the hell they're doing. And you also have Trio Sky. It was the Aries as well, so I don't know if you're connecting with them, and I think they were really connecting with you in the reading. And you also have Earth Kitten, so it's kind of like somebody broke your heart, and you're like really refocusing to your children, to the youngsters, to maybe kind of like even trying something different kind of a thing, going to see when we get more. Ooh, you have stars. Yeah, I see this positivity. You're not allowing that thing that happens in July to get to you. It's almost like you're doing lots of things. You're kind of looking into kind of like what is the positive thing or this negative happening. Somebody almost like try to kind of crush you down if you wish, and you're telling yourself, you know what, you're not going to watch this, you're not going to see this is really really not going to happen. Maybe you're thinking a lot how to kind of like create this turnaround, but like I think by meeting other people, by exposing yourself to different influences, to different kind of things, is going to be really really helpful. And this is also Ace of Sky that I see here. So this is a karma card. It's some kind of like form of a victory. And maybe this is how it feels, that every new beginning is difficult, and it kind of like takes an effort, and it's kind of like to move that kind of like a stone that is kind of blocking your path. The first effort is kind of difficult, and the rest kind of like can get easy. It's again, right, as I said, it's a theme. If your element is like one element, you're going to get a different element, so you're getting lots of air. You will really need to rebalance yourself. You really need to speak up. You will really need to speak for yourself, and it's going to be really important. You really need to see what your higher self really wants. Do you really, you are in a situation or just left a situation, or somebody made you have the new configuration. So what is the good out of it? Don't, oh, I just want everything. No. What is good right now? What is going on right now? God, Ten of Sky. It's kind of like really difficult for you at some point, even though you have this vision. You're going to eventually fall into a hole and feel like, why is this happening to me? But then again, you're Pisces. This is kind of like how you express your emotions and how you feel injustice, right? So Ten of Sky is like feeling, why did you do this to me, right? Why did you do this to me? Did you see this kind of like in the States, this Derek Chauvin yesterday got his judgment, and apparently his lawyer said all he's thinking of is like, he has a whole bunch of ifs. If I didn't show up for work that day, right? And all the ifs are how the destiny is affected by him going to work because he actually volunteered that day. But interestingly enough, his ifs are not, well, I shouldn't be doing this, kind of like, if I didn't do that, if kind of like if the girl didn't record it, right? So this is kind of like you're having a whole bunch of ifs going through your head, but this is pulling you, like those ifs need to see, okay, they need to shift to I can, from if to I can. And each and every time you fall into something that you feel that these people didn't appreciate who you are, that people didn't kind of like acknowledge your expertise, or this doesn't have to be necessarily relationships, it's just like feel that you're pushing yourself in a situation where you were not welcome, or no matter what you created, a brilliance. Remember this woman, what's her name, forgot her name, that wrote Harry Potter, right? So she said she had one rejection after another. They were laughing at her books, right? So she said, I don't want to bring it back to who these people are. I'm just kind of like realizing you need to trust yourself. And that's kind of like what's happening over here. So Two of Sky, and again, is the air. It's kind of like mirroring with this. So it's kind of like you're moving it forward. And it's going to move a little bit faster than you wish. So you need to really buckle up because this is really, really fast. Just imagine how quick the airplane can move through the water and how is compared with the air. So that's kind of like what's going to happen. Things are going to start speeding up very, very much. So, and then we have here the cat, and that's kind of like the Fool card showed up so many times. And look, it's in conjunction with this Three of Skies, this Three of Swords. You are like revisiting who you are, what authentically you want, who you can be, and you realize, okay, you know what, I maybe couldn't give this to this person because not of me, but because of this person. I need to find a better soil, a better ground where my seed can grow properly. So you are actually really enthused to jump into it. This also could mean starting a new project. It could mean starting a new position, starting something new, which is really, really going to engage you, and you really believe in that. Oh my God, how much air you have this. And it's almost like the Ace of Pentacles. It's the new bloom. It's almost like a rebirth, I would say. the environment is going to be very nurturing. Like, you know, it's almost like you're releasing some shackles. And of course, it's going to be kind of like hesitation and pain and analysis that you'll be going through it. But this could be your mother that's going to be a nurturing force, or you have somebody who has children, or who is treating you as a child doesn't sound good, but they'll literally kind of like take you under their wing, which is really, really good nurturing card. Or simply you have possibly this is also to me for all of you Pisces born in March. But since this is falling in an environment, maybe you have another Pisces who kind of gets you, or somebody who has that very, very strongly in their chart, right? And then we have a Two of Earth here, which is kind of like it's almost going from 1 to 2. I mean, I know this is kitten, so it's a page, but pages have this like kind of like you're applying this knowledge. Now you have learned the language. I'm learning my French. But one thing is learning and repeating what they tell you. Another one is like trying to integrate it, right? So now this is applied knowledge, if you wish. So lots of things need to be balanced. Things that may be up in the air, or maybe realization. Look at it with all the stews. Maybe somebody was cheating. Maybe this is kind of like what happened, that somebody just did something unbecoming of them. Maybe this is kind of like this unraveling just really happens out of some kind of realization. Something just hit you. Maybe you believed in a lie, and now all of a sudden you can see kind of a thing. And that's it. You're getting grace. You're walking away from the things in a really graceful way. It's not really burning your bridge, but the bridge is going to just collapse because it was not meant to be. You guys, okay, simple. You need to move away from the situation you're at. If somebody's causing you pain, yeah, we all need to lick our wounds. It's going to happen. I'm not going to hide this from you. But you're projected to move away into something that is much better, in a more nurturing environment, in a basically direction that is really good for you. But you need to decide to take this leap. So you cannot sulk. You cannot spend, I mean, you will sulk, we all do, but each and every time you need to kind of like catch yourself. And this is kind of like where this new start starts. So let me check the cat here for you. I'm doing well with the time. Okay, good. It's just like usually lose my voice, and I just really want to keep the same energy for the every sign. So we have the Messenger, Old Woman, and Surprise. So I think this can also be a old woman, or your mother, or somebody who is a counselor, somebody who has experience, because look at that. Her feet are on the book. It looks a little bit stale, but there's a mirror, so there's like some kind of self-reflection, or somebody who is helping you get in the situation, or somebody who is pushing you in this direction. This is a lovely card. I love this card. It's so positive. He's getting the fish, but he gets the money. So maybe the direction you're going to go is like simply kind of like work project of some sort, but you are going to really get yourself surprised. And this is the same thing. I'm jumping into unknown, and it's almost like a little bit fearful of this jump, but when you do, like, the gates will open. Things are just going to really, really work out for you. So let me see this 10 of Sky. Why do we have this creepy card here? And the creepy card is somebody took their freaking sweet time to tell you about something, and meanwhile you were not privy to that information, and it caused you pain, or they're not coming to your rescue. And that's another side of this. Maybe it's not that somebody was actively hurting you, but just by them doing nothing, you have been exposed and you have been on the limb, right? It can happen at work, and it can happen everywhere. And 3 of Sky, you're waiting. You're waiting for something that's not going to happen. It feels like, again, you can wait all you want, but this is really telling you that these behaviors are not going to be shifted. These behaviors will continue. So you guys, Pisces, I know you are like dreamers, right? You kind of go from helping us kind of see and envision our lives in a very positive way. But this is really telling you it's going to be very grounding. Look at this. Air, 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 and this is partially air. So what do I tell you? So you really need to be action. You need to be spiritual. You need to kind of like trust yourself. You simply kind of like are now in a very, very fast sports car that goes very, very fast, and you just need to trust that not only are going to receive and come to your destination, but that other people will be there around along the path, that the gas stations will be there. Also, planning is also very important, right? But not overly planning. Like, so what is with us air signs? We just plan enough to get to the point B, and then from the point B we plan enough to get to point C. So which is not typical, for example, for water. Water is kind of like looking into like a longer term strategy, and for you this is unfamiliar territory, but that's exactly what doctor ordered this month, right? So that's for you Pisces, my sweet Pisces. Mind you, Pisces doesn't get very sweet when they get pissed off. Oh, you should see the little piranhas at that stage, right? Right, Pisces? And the next one is Leo. 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 Yeah. Let's put here the little thingy and my other window. And here we go. Leo. Let's see what is in the store for you. Leo. 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 Oh, there we go. Ooh, you have stars and you have the moon. Oh my gosh, this is really powerful. When they come together, it kind of like they don't really necessarily have their meaning. Let's see also the bottom card. Oh, it's Ace of Fire. Something is getting revived. You really believe. Look at this. This is like 17 and 18. So something is having a progression, but not a little progression. And also look at this kitty cat here is looking at this big lion. So this is Aquarius, yes, it's a counterbalance. So yes, it's Leo, moon, sun, and ascendant, but it's also Aquarius, moon, sun, and ascendant that really comes to play over here, right? So this is really talking about doing things that are in the best interest of everybody. You know, we selfishly want what we want. We want this man for ourselves, for example, but this man is married, and ultimately the higher thing will be like that he is happy, right? That's kind of like what it is. So many of us cannot disconnect from it because, oh, I want him for me, right? So this is the disconnection that is really happening over here. And with this disconnection, you're connecting with your higher self. So it's almost like, are you docking the train, right? Because train is basically want, or you're boarding the rocket, and rocket is going to take you somewhere else. The perspective is going to be different. The vision is going to be different, right? So it might be emotional month, that's for sure. That's going to happen, especially if you guys are a Leo born in July, because this is connecting with the water over here. But in the sense, I really think it's going to be enthusiastic, that you're going to feel that you can spread your wings, that you can fly. You know, this and this tells me that could be people from the past re-entering your life. And caveat on that one, it's going to feel like it's a new fresh, it's a new start. But demon, cat, the devil, it's not a good card. It's somebody's messing with your life. There's a lure. That can be a sexuality. This also can talk sex kind of a thing. So be careful that this also has a plan, right? From the past, it's some kind of relationship. I don't know if there was some kind of like flirtation that you are entering this month, and you're wondering how that's going to fly, what's going to happen over here with that, right? Maybe it can be some old temptations that have resurfaced, that you're kind of going in that direction over here, right? That would be you, Fire Queen, feeling amazing as a result. This worries me because, look, it's almost like something is making you feel right, but what is making you feel right is wrong, right? So that usually means it's temporarily high, right? If you're a drug user who just got your fix, we'll have to revisit this demon cat with clarifier with gypsy cards. So Two of Fire, it's debate. What do I do? This could be also, there are two different options that you can consider. This also talks about in the Rider White, like, I mean, holding your own globe, which kind of like here shows, do I really want to kind of like jump into this world, or do I really want to stay here? It's nice and warm and kind of like dry after all, right? But look what the kitty cats go and do when they're out, right? So it almost looks to me, my dear Leo, and I'm sorry to say this, that somebody suppressed you of being the best you can be. that somebody, did not let you dream your dreams. And that kind of like bogged you down for quite a bit. For you to re enter this with these two aces is telling me that maybe the lesson you learn is like that, yeah, these are the things I want from the past, but these are the things that I don't want from the past, right? But it's going to rear its ugly head once again. It's almost like when universe wants you to learn a lesson, it kind of like keeps repeating the same thing. It's almost like learning the foreign language. You need to keep repeating until you get it, right? And it can be very basic things. So the universe is going to be testing you this month with some entry of somebody. Entry of somebody who you deem to be very important. You are seeing yourself as a part of a couple. Do you have any Leos over here, guys? Or Leo? I mean, I have a moon in Leo. But this is kind of like a coupling of somebody who you feel it's not only proper, but it's a shoe that fits. It's something really, really important. But also, this could mean, because this falls in your own house, that you feel that whether or you're a man or a woman, that you need to wear the pants in the family, right? That you are the one who is really affecting all of that stuff. So that's going to be very, very important over here, right? So it's maybe a reuniting with somebody from the past, reuniting with your ex, continuing in this couplehood and hoping that things are going to really work out better over here. So there we go. I cut what's going on here. Talk to me. And then we have like Six of Sea. Again, it was something happening during Mercury retrograde. There's like some kind of like lure of the past, lure of something that has been happening. It could be issues with the children over here as well, because the regular card shows the two children kind of like taking care of each other. To me, that could mean a past life interaction as well. So now we have like two sixes. You're strongly feeling that somebody has a soulmate thing for you, and this applies to anything. For your work, this is meant to be. You're buying something, this is meant to be. So you kind of like really feel it. This is that connecting to the higher power. Now you can see why things are happening, not only that they're happening. So this is very, very important, right? Hopes and fears is death. Well, it sounds horrible when you say it as a sentence, right? It just doesn't make sense, but this is actually not bad. When that comes upright, especially when you see the sadness and all the lives being lost and all the kitties being gone, this simply means, right, you maybe need to reach some kind of closure of some sort. That means something has to stop. Something just cannot keep going, right? Because what happens if we beat the dead body? We cannot resuscitate it anymore. It just starts to fall apart and stink, and it's very dangerous for us to kind of be in the situation. Maybe this to me talks about that you have this like one more last time with your partner, and like even though going into that is like kind of like feel great because you're Leo, you have the sense of greatness and sense of exhilaration and excitement, but when you have that first proverbial postcoital cigar, you're thinking to yourself, whoa, I actually don't feel that intensity anymore. There is like a release of some kind of like sort, guys, over here. And that's what this says. Time to let it go. Look at that. You're letting it go, guys. You're conquering whatever this lesson was. Look at this. 17, 18. We jumped over 19, which is your card, and 20, which is the destiny. But here, you're jumping right to the end. This is it. Ta-da! Finale. You're accomplishing. Everything is like going well. The world is yours. And keep in mind that in the world card, like I mean, not only did they, yeah, of course they did it. Of course they did it. Where is the so we have the shell, we have the flower, we have the bird, and frankly, I have no idea what this is, but this most likely represents you right next to the sun over here. So you are going to feel really accomplished, guys. So again, this is a theme for all the signs. We need to release dead weight. We need to release things that are not working out. For you, that doesn't mean literally letting go of the people, which kind of like initially I thought. Now we're seeing the full picture, because this is also a karma card, right? That something is really happening that is making you see a different perspective. And with different perspective, you're going to have different attitudes. You're going to have not kind of like tapping in the dark, because both of these cards are dark, and now you're coming into the light, right? The sun that rules you is light, right? And the sun exists even in the darkness, right? But in the light, you are making these good decisions. So for Leos, generally, you should be making decisions during the day, right? As that is going to be very positive for you. So there is some kind of lure. I can see that. And you need to overcome it. Maybe you guys had issues with codependency. Maybe you always get attracted to the wrong people. How that works, you don't go out to the wrong person. You meet people who seem to be right, and then quickly realize they have this mask, and they're actually really, really wrong. And it's really, really important to do that, right? So yeah, the World card is very powerful. It's extremely powerful card, right? To kind of like push things forward. So let's see this Death card over here. I always make bad decisions after midnight. That's hilarious. Death card. Did you have some relationship with somebody who is with somebody else? Was it a third party situation? And you're saying, nope, no. I value myself more. I will go through this pain of letting go of you, because you feel like, I mean, it was some kind of like hold on you as kind of like, as you were continuing this. Let me see this demon kitty cat over here with this dead birdie over here. And we have melancholy. It could be a slight depression, right? That's what this card melancholy is. But that's kind of like really interesting because it is reversed. So guess what? You're getting out of whatever kind of like funk you were in, right? It's kind of like, it's really interesting because this is a card that actually indicates ending over here, the moon. It's kind of like ending, but it's ending with, and this one is ending, but it's like with that huge positivity. You just finish high school and you're going to go to university, you're going to start working, right? It's the excitement that is connecting with that ending. And then you had the ending here. Can you see that this is kind of a haha, hint, kind of a thing, right? This can talk about emotional breakdown as well, guys, to be really honest with you. Let me just move this a little bit. But I really don't see that really happening for you. It can talk about, clearly, I think, very applicable. It's going to be some kind of love gone wrong, realization of that, some unhappy situation, or loss of friendship, or loss of job, or loss of money, right? So I don't know, guys, if you're dealing with Taurus or Capricorn or Earth sign, that very much talks about somebody is very much into that frame of mind. Maybe a person is not that sign, but they have that monetary kind of like attitude that is really, really important, right? Or this simply can be a lure, kind of like a warning for somebody who you really wanted, and it's kind of like not doable for, because this person is either married to somebody or their job, right? Like it could be more things than one. Sometimes you get, you hear about these divorces. Like who was that that I read recently? Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel, his first wife divorced him because he was working too much. It was like no cheating and stuff. So, you know, a whole bunch of elements come to play. So that's really, really important. Oh, so sorry to hear, Akad, but you know what? Your reading says this is good for you. You're reclaiming yourself, you're visiting yourself, you're able to shine again. Not the tiny little sunshine that you have to look in a pocket. No, this is a big sunshine and going to feel really, really good. Whoa. Not glad to hear this because I know it's painful, but from this reading this month, you're going to start feeling much, much, much better about all of that. All right, so let me click down this Leo icon. So we have 3 left. Actually, I'm not doing that bad with time today. So I guess 10 minutes or less. So we have Libra. Next, Libra is my ascendant. Barbie is Libra. Do we have other Libras over here, guys? Raise your hand if that's you. So let's see, what do we have here? Oh, I need to put a stamp. Without that, Libra would be lost. Libra would never be lost because they'll be clicking through all that stuff. Oh, Libra, I see Libra here. So there we go. You're welcome, Akat. You can contact me for a reading if you wish. That can really help you, right? or simply talk. You guys all, you can talk to me on the forum that is not public, right? Crystal Smith, hello. We have Libras here. Kylie's Libra moon. Okay, we are having some motion here. So we have C Tom. So Libra, Libra, flirtation, Knight in the shining armor. He's showing you his belly. Are you going to rub his belly? Let's see. Maybe. So you're starting with Fire King. Then you're going with the Strength, and then you go Eight of Sky. So this is already giving us some kind of insight in the situation, right? So Fire King is, doesn't matter if it could be you, your air signs. So technically it would mean if this is you, then you're getting in a stage that you really want to kind of do stuff. But this shows blockage. Or it shows that somebody kind of like is not really collaborating, so hence you end up being stuck. They say to you one thing, they do another thing. And this can all, for you guys, talk about some kind of commitment, right? The Strength to me is always about commitment. It's always about how to, and commitment is kind of having this big word, commitment. But ultimately, the part of that commitment that we see buried in this card, Strength, is about that little slice of commitment that you need to be very diplomatic, right? When you are in a relationship, because you just cannot have a knee-jerk reactions. That's why relationships can be difficult for some of us who are just too relaxed. But to be in a relationship, you just really need to kind of like figure out how can you always be the best you can be for the other person. So it's really hard to maintain that. And eventually, if you do manage to get it right for a while, then eventually it becomes a second nature, right? So it's not as hard. But this really tells me it's kind of really hard because somebody's really not cooperating. So it feels like you're pulling the weight of the two over here. So that's kind of like where it gets difficult, that you feel scratched, you feel damaged, you feel like, threats are coming, you feel hostility of some sort, right? And that's kind of like not really, really helpful. Well, it's Ace of Cups as well here for you. So it's maybe something from the past that started to kind of like brew, and it's kind of going really, really fast, right? So I don't know if you guys just started something in Mercury retrograde. You know what happens when you start in Mercury retrograde? The moment when it starts going forward, it goes in a hyper speed. And when it's in hyper speed, like all the issues like you need to deal with it. It's like not something that would revolve over 15 years, but it's just like this 15 years is squished in a month or so, right? Because here it's telling me like it's kind of like you really feel a liftoff of some sort, but the wings will be clipped. So there's like usually a blindfold in the regular deck because it says you knew that and you still wanted to believe in your own thing, right? So what did you know, my dear Libra? You knew something very well, but you still continued. Well, you continued because maybe you wanted attention. Maybe you wanted somebody to tell you sweet things. It's all good. But are you trusting your product that much and you know the ingredients? That's kind of like really the question over here. And then you have Seven of Fire. It's like maintaining your position, knowing, kind of like what is really important. Like, look, this is the winner saying, no, we've already been there. We know how it goes. No, I'm here, you're there. So it already was some kind of like polarization. If you wish, it already was. It's something that you quote unquote won. And maybe simply you're just being dragged back into some old patterns over here and some patterns you have resolved before. And one good thing about resolving things is like you become stronger and stronger and your emotional muscles get stronger, right? So no matter how many times you're being pulled back, you will be quicker in resolving those problems. So when you're 5, having a budget of $5 is tough to handle. When you're like 50, it's not tough at all, except you cannot do much with that, right? So that's kind of like what it is. You become bigger than your problems and things are not really looking threatening. Then we have Ace of Fire. Yeah, look at this. The same 2 aces that are really showing up. Was it for Leo? It's a lure from the past, my guys. There's like something happening. It's maybe you started with somebody last month, but maybe it didn't really go. Maybe it got stuck. Maybe they got quote unquote busy. Maybe they had their old lady, their old kind of like husband, or there was like something that come in a way, and it felt like it was a disconnect. and you were kind of like reassessing your entire position over here. But it looks like it's going to get reignited. It's going to kind of like go forward and going to really feel good about it. Look at this. The teeter-totter, the cosmic teeter-totter that goes between these two cards it's now in balance. So something that was out of balance is coming in balance. You are now serving your best interest. You are saying to yourself, well, moving forward, it has to be in the best interest, not only of me, but of everybody involved. And it is kind of like allowing you to play with the full deck, if you wish. It kind of like knowing if you should stay in the situation, if you should continue in the situation, because as Nitin Yogi said, like if you attract people who all need healing, this is great. You have the healing shop. But, you know, can you really give this healing? And what about you? Who is going to heal you? So you need to be protective of your own energy, of your own kind of like process. So this is, this is the environment. Somebody actually just worked out their karma with your own help. And it could be, guys, that you're dealing with fixed signs, that you're dealing with Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, or Taurus, or that they have that sign very, very prominently in their chart, right? So you see, again, in particular, Leo and Aquarius is really, really coming through, as well as the fire over here. It is really interesting over here because there is like some kind of like tada moment that they are getting some kind of realization. So this kind of blockages are probably resolved in your case, and that doesn't happen often. It happens in like 2% of the cases, but that's very possible so far. Yep, that's your hope and fear. The fear is like, oh my gosh, it's not going to happen. Hope, yeah, it's going to happen. And it's very positive. It's actually really positioned positively, but it's also because you did not debate your status. Somebody probably tried to suggest to you, well, I try doing this way, and you're like, no, it doesn't feel right. So you kind of like you have to hold your fort, if you wish. You have to adhere to your authenticity, what you really want. If you want monogamous relationship, don't accept somebody who is like wishy-washy. And this really tells me you're going to be really adhering to your highest ideals, and that's really, really going to really work for you really, really well. Wow, one more ace. Oh my gosh, this is like go all force forward. This is also karma card. Now you have two guys, so it's not only this person is working out their karma, you are working this as well. So by the time this month is over, trust me on this, you're going to be a completely new person. There's going to be something that has blocked you, something that held your progress, that is going to be just released to the universe. Maybe some things from the past can be revisited and reignited, but not all, right? You need to kind of like really look for things from the past that really you badly wanted, you really, really badly wanted. But even if you want them now, they have to be done in a way that nobody gets hurt, right? So it's just kind of like, it's very, very important to go in this direction. But look at that, like we have all upright cards, all of them. It's very positive. This one is like really holding on to your own. But let me see, the Eight of Sky was the one that shows being trapped, but it's on the bottom, and look at it, it's just a jump on it. So we have Thief, we have Merchant, and we have Child. So did somebody stole your sleep? I don't know why this came to me. It just came to me, and it doesn't make much sense, but what I mean by that somebody was coming to your thoughts and you spend lots of time worrying about it, right? Because they only worried about themselves. They only wanted to do what they wanted to do. Maybe somebody was saying, again, this comes in a third party situation. Somebody says, oh, you know, I'm not leaving this relationship because of child, because of this, because of that. Well, too bad for you. So are you more important to me than I am important to me? That's a very simple answer. You should be number one, and eventually this other person earns over time to be on the same level with you. But they're like relegating you to the third position. So they are number one, kids are number two, and you are who knows where, right? And I think this is kind of like what felt really odd and what felt really off. But this is kind of like you're repairing yourself on so many freaking levels, guys. This is just amazing. Like, it's really pushing you forward. This is like, whew, let's go. I'm telling you, it's going to be a ridiculously successful month. If I were you, I would be doing a diary every day, because by the end of this month, you're going to accomplish more in this month that people accomplish in their lifetimes. It's like that powerful of a reading. So that's pretty good to know. So Kelly says, I know exactly who this is, standing ground, strong and grounded. I refuse to lower my standards and not settle for mediocre. Exactly. Yep. Was dealing with a fixed sign. Yep. Fixed signs. Sometimes we get too fixed, right? And it's really interesting because fixed signs have to learn snake lesson. You know, the snake has to shed its skin or it dies. So if you don't change your ideas and attitudes at least once in a blue moon, you're suffocating yourself. And it's kind of like really, really important. Love it. Oh, look at this. My Libras are jumping on board. I mean, my ascendant is Libra. I just can't wait for this to revolve. Awesome. Freaking awesome. Okay, Libra. Let's remove your icon. And we are down to the last two. So we have Taurus and we have Capricorn. So which one goes first? Taurus goes first. Chris, are you still with us? You got to wait to be the last one. You know what they say in German, that Zucker comes to last, which means the sugar comes last, which means this is a specialty that we are just all waiting for. So Taurus, oops, I almost clicked on the wrong sign, and I did click on something wrong. Where is my Taurus? Oh, here it is. All right. So Taurus, 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 your stamp. I'm a little bit behind on the time, but I can still carry on my energy, and I hope you don't think I'm deflated, and Taurus doesn't feel I'm deflated. So I think Matrix, my kitty, is actually Taurus, who is sleeping all the time. Okay, Taurus, Taurus. Holy moly, holy moly. Here we have the bottom of the deck. You have Fire Queen. Somebody is moving and shaking. You also have Three of Sky. So what is it? We are clearing some emotional clogs this month. It happened to so many signs. You also have the, oh my gosh, look at this. I'm actually having goosebumps. I don't know why. But consequences or justice, it could be divorce of a sort that is really happening. You are putting your foot down of some sort. You maybe try to find a new configuration, a new people who can be helpful, who will kind of like develop some kind of like plan and move kind of like forward with you. Kind of like that's why we see so many moving and shaking. And you have a floating cat, so maybe something was in the past that things were kind of like overly stagnant, right? So that's kind of like really interesting. And then you have a Four of Earth. And Four of Earth is Four of Pentacles, which means there's like some kind of closeness. And it's really telling you, you really need to open. You need to open. Like you're doing all the right things. You have all intelligence, all abilities, and all opportunities to do the right things, to attract the right people for you, to kind of like rebalance your destiny if you wish. But then you're not doing that. Why is that, Taurus? Four of Earth talks about, look, he took all of these toys, as I said before, and he is not allowing anybody to come close, and the bones and the toys and whatnot. So is that fun? You have all of that stuff. It just like almost tells me it's the usually king that holds all the money too close to his chest. You're holding all the cards to your chest. But it's not exactly the same as holding your cards. It's kind of like here, the lesson is exactly that you need to engage, or otherwise it makes no sense kind of a thing, right? And then you have like the Eight of Pentacles reversed, or Eight of Earth reversed, which means that something is actually not well planned. Because I think you're doing, you see, this is kind of like these two cards are really related, and this is kind of like the expertise of connecting and representing, and this is actually quite the opposite, that somebody, or maybe you stepped in and you questioned the expert showing up because the expert is on the bottom, and messed something up. Maybe something didn't revolve properly. You know, you have to do that in this order, and then you just like didn't do it. So now there are consequences as a result, right, of that. In your own house, you have strength. So there is diplomacy. There is like presenting things in a way that are palatable for the other people. You just cannot go with a fist through the wall, because you need to kind of like tell them, you know, this is like why this whole motives and everything have to fall down. This is also very much linked to Taurus, and it also tells me that something is coming to an end. Like you have the two fours mirroring each other, so there's like a need for firmness and for stability. This also could mean there's like somebody who you feel is in charge of you that you want to neutralize. It could be a position of authority, right? With these two kind of like cards connected, maybe somebody is coming in, stepping in. It could be a very good thing, but why is this then breaking your heart? Because this is really showing this as a good thing. There's like something you clearly don't want, and you're trying to rip something apart. Oh my gosh, I'm just like so much fun with all this kind of like Freudian slips, like not one but zillion. So you're all fart, I guess, right? So strength card over here really is a guidance for you, so you know how to approach situation. But 2 8s that you have are really talking about vision and kind of like going forward, which you clearly think that you have, but it's going to be something that you didn't think through properly. There's something, this always talks about putting all your dots on the I and crossing all your T's. Something is amiss over here, right? So that is a third 8. So these 8s are very important. So what is the 8? 8 is also the star, and 8 is also the strength, right? Which talks about your higher power, higher self. But this one talks everything but. This talks about never mind higher power. This is me, 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 me. It's my toy, my toy, my toy, my toy, right? My food, my food, my food. My money, my money, my money. I'm not telling you go ahead and just throw the money away. No, no, no. You are Earth sign. You will go. You are nuts, cat. You don't even try to tell me this, right? No, I'm just telling you that it has to be something here that you kind of like locked your connection with universe, right? And the universe is telling you need to release it in order for me to step in and help you. You still have that diplomacy and ability to move forward. It's kind of weird. I'm just thinking about my banker who is Taurus, and she just told me, oh my gosh, this whole last month was just a bad luck. And like she wants to fix the tooth, and then tooth kind of like ends into kind of like 3 teeth being removed, root canal, a $2,000 bill. So she said, I'm best to leave the leave of absence just to take care of myself. And she's like just 30 years old, kind of a thing, right? So this means somebody coming through, expressing their appreciation, expressing their love. There are some messages coming forward, but again, it's coming forward in one segment. It's too fast for you. You would like this one, but this one is slow, it's not happening, or somebody's not letting you know about things that went wrong, right? Then we have Sea King over here, and this is in your hopes and fears. It could be another person, and you're expecting that somebody understands you emotionally, that it's almost like it tells me that you're experiencing, or you're feeling rather to say, not experiencing, you're feeling there's like some kind of suffering that has been implicated or induced on you. But the truth is, it could be that there's like something that hasn't been positioned properly, and that's why it almost like feels to me, and I know like it's only 2D, but it almost like feels to me this is on a different plane, this is on a different level. Something is happening on the bottom where this is looking from the top and looking down and saying, no, 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 you need to look into this, right? These 3 cards. But this one somehow is just, you have the tools, but you don't have preparation, because that's maybe the best way to put it. And you feel that because people are coming along positive, that things should work out for you. You also kind of like want to resolve something by using emotional triggers. And that's kind of like important, right? That you're going to appeal to other people's emotions, kind of a thing. And 2 of Fire is kind of like, again, it almost looks like to me that you're getting people on board who can either understand you emotionally or who can serve you emotionally. But this dude, I don't think this is you. Unless you're Taurus born in April, then it could be very much you. And then it's like really almost sending a double message that, hey, you really need to withdraw from all this emotional engagement and all of that. This can be control, that you're trying to control your environment, right? Yeah, I can see this together. But it's really asking of you, again, when you have a major arcana, that you really need to work in your highest power. That other than that, it's just not going to be doable or workable. Now, I can't wait to see the clarifier. So let me just see this 4 of Earth, because it just feels like you are in your own way. And like you're in your way like this, nobody goes forward kind of a thing, where you need to go forward first kind of a thing, right? So let me see this 4 of Earth. Do we have any Tauruses here? Yeah, but that will be you, Taurus. You have the Priest, And it could be some, again, priest in this deck can be a lawyer as well. It can be higher morality, if you wish. It could be regulations. It could be decisions. It could be some confessor, right? Confess your own sins, kind of a thing, right? But again, the bottom line is like there is a presence of higher power, right? And the card is a reminder there's like more than physical world. There's like more than stuff you have, kind of a thing, right? So maybe this means that you will have some legal matters and they will require your attention. And you know, it's just like I would say that if this is like inheritance, or if this is some separation, that you should really ask for a legal opinion over here. Maybe it can talk about your health, and could be some illness of a sort, you know, that I don't go into health issues, but it could simply mean that somebody's telling you you need to do this, you're developing so and so. You say, no, not a problem with me, and because of you not reacting quickly. Hopefully, Taurus, you got vaccinated. I hope you got vaccinated. This is my second dose from yesterday, but that's what it tells me. Sorry, I'm just a messenger. Oh, this one wants to talk about that. Yeah, it's again advice of somebody who knows the matter, who knows the stuff. It could be a woman. And let me see this, like 8 of Pentacles that is reversed. What is this? Advising you. Yeah, it is something about your domicile, something about things that are really close to you, things that you're intimately, it almost looks like you're too close to the problem. You're too close to the tree, you cannot see the forest at this stage. And that's kind of like what is really showing me. So be careful if you proceed without advice. That's kind of like a summary over here. Nothing really biggie, but some kind of like commitment, some kind of like stuff can flop, because people might just feel that there is like some kind of level of being unprepared, or it can be also be seen as, I guess, a possible selfishness, right? Because you had this 4 of Pentacles. So you have to come across as cooperative. Man, my throat's starting to scratch. I'm talking for 2.5 hours straight, so how it wouldn't be? Actually, I'm surprised. But, you know, ultimately, guys, just you need to kind of like release that tension and just like let universe take care of it, because that's kind of like what I see it's projected for you, right? And then we know who is the last. The last is Capricorn. So Capricorn, you're coming here. Let's put this back. And of course, you know that I have OCD, that I cannot leave this one just sit there. But there we go. So Capricorn is, and you are not hearing Tiger because Tiger is in his daycare today, not with his regular walker, but in a daycare. So let's do it. Capricorn, that jumped really quickly. Ooh, let's see. Bottom of the deck, you have 3 of Earth. So there's the cooperation. It's about the expertise. It's kind of like being wanted. But here it's a 6 of Sea, a 6 of Cups reversed, and it's coupled with the Sun reversed. It's all good. It could be things from the past that they need to be resolved. Maybe they don't have the shine as they maybe had, but this is nonetheless still very positive combination. Except here could be a water sign of some sort. It is maybe getting too needy, and something that looks very something that look, yes, I love you. Something that looked very possible. Maybe it doesn't look that doable anymore for some reason or another. And I'm sorry to say, but this is not definitely affecting you. It almost looks like there's stuff and there's you. And while you're observing this stuff here, like you're just like seeing that as things from the past. Maybe you have mullet in your own head already, because look at what is really point of this card. Who is in your inner circle? Was this person in your inner circle? No, you're kind of like not allowing this to affect you so much, right? You're relegating them to the sidelines, right, my little beast? Right, my little beast? When Sun reverses, it almost could be better at times. that the whole intensity of the sun sometimes burns you. You're very enthusiastic, right? We did the last week. Where were you guys last week? We did Benefer, two Leos, right? Which this card represents. It's kind of like the sun needs to shine very, very much, and they're both superstars, so that generally comes to the burn point, right? Which we did see that the things are not going to really, really work out. And you also have the special visitor over here, so maybe somebody's just demanding this Queen of Cups their attention, and they just like need to be put on a pedestal. So we'll see what is this all about. So on the top of that you have revival of something. So Ace of Fire. She just put her butt right in my face over here. Did I put Capricorn? Yeah, I did. So this means maybe you had some either slowing down or a breakup or some emotional excess kind of a thing, but this is kind of coming back in a sense that this is being revived. This is kind of like being reworked. Remember, kind of like now the solutions can be found with, now you have the two trees, right? And the trees also can indicate that there is like possible some kind of like external involvement, that there is like something else that needs to really happen in a situation. So we'll see what is this all about. Ooh, so that could mean, because it's mirroring this, it was a third party situation. Somebody is overly engaged. Somebody is not able to, just going through the immediate needs basically, right? It's not a big picture, but for you it kind of like is really important. So there's like a still issue that that you intended to resolve, that you thought is going forward, but it didn't go forward. Chris, you need to talk to me. What is this? I kind of like, I'm not sure what is going on here, but oh, look at that, you have consequences. Things are going to get resolved. This is a karma card, justice card, and it's right in your house. It's the whole situation has been done for you to really to get it done properly, to get it through. So it almost looks like you karmically didn't close it, you karmically didn't clean it, so it's coming back for you to finish this business entirely. But we'll see if it's going to be finished. Are you coming back? She's just looking right like this kitty cat, right, when she's looking at me from the floor. And you cannot do it. It's just too many pussycats on the table with too many cards, madame, right? Can you just, yeah, there she goes. In your environment, look at it, this card is coming really often. Somebody is stingy, or somebody is overly protective, somebody is just doing whatever they want to do, right? They're not really sharing with you, and maybe this is kind of like what was off-putting for you, right? You were like, I don't know if I really want to jump into it, or it felt like you have to do everything for them. Come to me is what this card is telling me, right? And when you come to them, it's just like what I want, right? I have a girlfriend who broke up with her boyfriend when he showed up at her door and he brought himself a sandwich. Not for her, just for him. And she said, okay, so this is so clearly both lack of social intelligence and idiocy, so you need to go. And Safi, you also need to go, talking about that, because I really want to finish this, but this is kind of like what I'm telling you about. Whenever you think you're resolving something, you're kind of like catching on the ideas, you're pushing it forward, you're going to be interference of some sort, and something that is very cuddly. So this could be a relationship that is very emotional, and that emotions are really appealing to you, like when I want to pet Safi, right? But ultimately, it's some kind of like nuisance as well. So yeah, strategy is really needed to get out of some situation here. And then you have Fire Tom, and this is just what I was telling about strategy. You might get burned here and there. Look at his tail. He's catching it because he has to wiggle through all of these kind of like poles, but he is wiggling through. And Fire Tom can also talk about sexuality and can talk about enjoyment. So, but Fire Tom, there she is again. But Fire Tom ultimately, I told you, is going to be interference all the time. Fire Tom doesn't stay. They just come and go like that. They're like really right in your face. They're really interesting, but it doesn't happen. But it's falling in your house of fears as well, meaning this is kind of like your fear that something doesn't have staying power, that is really, really getting to you, right? And it's really kind of like messing up with you, right? And Ten of Earth is here. Like you kind of like your things in a proper way. Ten of Earth is like thinking about your money, thinking about where you are in life, thinking about your home, thinking about your family, thinking about your inheritance, thinking about things that you have obtained, accessed, and kind of like seeing if this really all makes sense. Kind of like, right? That's kind of like what I see over here, which is really good. This is really Pentacles. It's a kind of crowning card of Pentacles where you say certain things have to make sense, right? And this is like in the interest of everybody over here, where you having the person here who is like, what is in my interest, right? Everything that looked, hey, it's going to be doable and workable, during this month is going to look very selfish, sorry to say, right? Somebody said, creative guru, that rudeness from someone getting a sandwich from themselves but not for you is so telling, right? That's what they say. You need to observe people. Sometimes it's the observing the behavior that is making us learn more than really the words that come out of their mouth. And I really have to tell you, to my clients, I always say just avoid text. Text is so freaking damaging because the emoticons, they're not really conveying the proper emotions. It's all freaking fake. Try to interact properly in order to make this work, kind of a thing. So Capricorn, so let's see, what do I want to see? I want to see this like 8 of Swords. Why is that conflict? Why? It's almost like internal conflict. You want to stay in a situation because you think there's no way out. So why is that, right? Why is this really happening here? That's happening because somebody's possibly married, or somebody wants to get married, or there's a situation that somebody wants, but I don't know if this is necessarily in sync with what you actually really want, right? And let me see this Sea Queen over here. Oops. Ooh, Sea Queen is again the third party. Again, somebody is messing up. Maybe somebody has a child, or somebody looks hopeless, or somebody has issues with a child. It could be simply that somebody is burdened with so many problems that you are not sure if you can take it on, right? I don't feel this is you guys. This is you guys, Capricorn. I really don't. And you are, however, attracting people like that this month because these people build you in their karma plan. Get your karma reading, guys. And the karma plan says, okay, so-and-so is going to meet you on this intersection of your life, and this is what's going to happen, right? So it's almost like you are helping them release certain things. You're helping them grow. But it doesn't mean it's their karma. It's you who is somehow going to play that role, which is going to be very karmic for them, but not so karmic for you. It will be karmic for you if you allow them to take over the reign of your life and how you move it forward, which you're not going to do, because I can see here like what is important is going to come here, and it's going to be really how you're going to finalize this. So be careful with this, because there's like not only one person that you involve, but with this person's possibly entire family and the family issues of some sort. That's kind of like what I see. And I cannot believe we are coming to the end. And of course, we have another door segment, and then we have the mod cards, right? So, which we will do in due time. So, creative, stop giving people the benefit of the doubt. Well, you have to give them once, right? But that's it. That would be my advice. Make sure all talk and actions of this person line up. Absolutely, I agree with that. I sign up that, right? All right, mesdames, mademoiselles, and messieurs and mesdames et mademoiselles. So let me just remove this Capricorn thing here, and let's put back this one. Okay, guys. So think, not the same thing as the last time. Where the heck is my thing to put a stamp on this one? So I'll really have to clean the stamps. And let me shuffle. I'm going to use Gypsy deck for this one over here. This alignment of energy is like what I'm sensing. Well, it's going to be alignment actually. This entire month we will be dealing with energies that are not very familiar to us, and we will really need to align them properly. And I think that's why we'll be a little bit out of our own element, and with different people, different signs, we'll be working on different issues. Whew. Okay, let's focus. Let's focus. Let's focus. Door number one. Door number one. This one. Door number two. Door number two. Leo reading is at 1 hour 49 minutes and 45 seconds. If you want to backtrack here, but just better focus on the doors now. Door number two. Man, nothing is jumping. I have to pull it out. And the door number three here. Okay, so let me remove this blocking icon here. Oh, you're back? You decided to be back? Tell me, what's going on? Now you can be. Now there are not that many cards. Now we love you. We all love you. Are you pretty girl? Are you pretty? Oh, the best. Oh, the best. So the door number one is Sweetheart reversed. This is really telling me, guys, don't make any decisions. Don't ask for this wish. Not because this wish is not doable, but you're not seeing something that you really need to see. Sweetheart is being reversed. So you're kind of like looking, this is like almost hangman, which is telling you that you need to obtain a different perspective, right? And if you start acting right now, it's like me trying to buy a house during the Mercury retrograde. And of course, I want that bid. I told you I'm going to tell you when I feel ready to talk about it. I want the bid. And they just like pull it under my feet and they gave it to somebody else because the guy got somebody who is, I don't know if where you are, it's allowed, dual agent. So somebody offered him more money, and now all the complaining, everything that I do is not going to get me that house. And now nothing is good enough, right? Of course, right? So this is like that. You're not privy to all the information and why things are happening that are happening, right? But they're clearly happening in your interest. So something happened in my interest here as well. Then, number two, you were patiently waiting for something over here. Now, in the original kind of like thing, it's called Belvedere, right? And Belvedere is sometimes called showing her with, not what they call it, binoculars, actually monocular kind of like a thing, where it's the opposite way. So it kind of like some self kind of like assessment is really needed for this card, but ultimately it's a positive card. But it's really telling you that, you know, it is a time of some kind of like anticipation or some kind of like waiting. Maybe you're looking or waiting for a loved one or for wedding, for engagement, news, message, new job, you know, you just go about that, right? So this is also reconciliation. If it's going to happen, meeting with loved ones, it does happen. And also, it's arrival of something new interest. I would just say, guys, wait until the 7th of June when Mercury goes fully forward, so you don't have to backtrack on anything, right? And just take it very slow by that point. And the door number three, we have wedding, right? So this, to me, would be kind of like possibly formalization of some sort or something, right? So it's kind of like not a straightforward card as you would kind of like imagine that it would mean, because here clearly, right, they are kind of like creating an agreement, right? Not so much love union when these cards were created, but sort of like it's a ceremonial things about new responsibilities. It's a loss of independence of some sort, right? So, you know, of course, when it comes to love affairs, this is like a big yes. When it comes to work meetings, just make sure that you kind of like check your contract and kind of like it's a positive outcome. All of these threes are positive outcomes, except here is telling you, yeah, this question, no, it's not in your best interest. Just like wait, sit this one out. Kind of like it's very important that you obtain the information, how the other people see that, how it's almost like some suffering is needed for the door number one. So there you go. There's somebody waiting patiently. So what do we do now? Let me grab these Lenormand cards for my mods and just tell you, or do you guys, what do you want? Do you want angel cards, or you want me to pull a Lenormand card for you? You just tell me what you want while I get and sip my my strawberry, my forest strawberry kind of like drink. Oh my gosh, look at this. Barbie organized me. Oh my gosh, Barbie, I love you. I don't have to go and scroll back. Now you just guys have to tell me, do you want Angel cards, or you want a Lenormand? Kylie goes Lenormand. Okay, you see, next time you need to be faster. So, Barbie is saying we are going with Kylie first. Okay, what is the message for Kylie for today? This is like for the next 2 weeks, Kylie. Because next week I'm off. Lynn, you're too late. My dear angel, you need to speak up faster next time. Kylie, this is the snake. And this snake is, hold on a second. Hello? Can you please leave it in front of my door? I can let you in the building. Yeah, I can let you in. Thank you. There we go. I'm getting my Amazon crap. So, this is exactly like that. Somebody's going to take some other stuff as a priority. Snake talks about somebody who is early 40s to mid 40s, somebody who is a female. It's a neutral card. It's not negative card. I know I have clients who just cannot hear about the snake, right? Don't call me snake in Lenormand, let me be something else. But snake is actually very positive. It can be about sexuality as well. It could be kind of like expressing yourself. But the snake also can talk about you know, like some kind of like timing. So is it something that you're doing? It can be like, 7 days or 7 months, but this is clearly talking about the month of July over here. Maybe, you know, you started about maybe new process. Maybe you're looking at a woman to kind of like help you over here, but it's also a card of caution of some sort. So it's kind of like slight warning to be on the lookout for possible attack from, I say, somebody who is close to you, like snake in the mist kind of like comes to mind, right? As well, right? Or you might not be trusted as a result, or if your ex comes to it, it could be jealousy or lies or something like that. So if there is some kind of setback, just this is kind of a card to tell you it's not you, it's somebody else, right? Chris, let's go next. Chris, kittens, my kittens. Chris, you're getting a few things. Chris, you're getting the stork, the anchor, and the grave. You were telling me that you're telling us that you're trying to relocate a thing. That whole idea is off. That's kind of like what it could mean, because this clearly talks about, right? Yeah, I want it. I want to spread my wing. It could be some kind of like newness or new things, and just like let's anchor it. Let's kind of seal the deal. But then, ta-da! Not gonna happen. Something like that. And it's really telling you that you're heading in the wrong direction. So maybe you need to reassess the situation, kind of like see what are the complications and kind of like rework it properly. So that's really, really important. No problem, Kylie. Yogi, knitting Yogi is not here, but she will be able to come back. So just so you know, guys, in the future, just can come back in the end. So for mods, I always do that. Yogi. And we'll do the angel cards for the non-mods. And you have the tree over here. So that's the healing. That's exactly what she's doing. Is this a one card? I don't know. I feel so thick. It's health and mind integration of some sort. And I'm pretty much, I think she knows that's what maybe we are picking up what she's doing in her seminar. It could be some meditative kind of like part or position where, you know how in yoga you have to sometimes breathe through the position. There's like no freaking way you will do it unless you coordinate your mind with, which is basically breath, right? And kind of like work that way. So this Amazon never came to my door. So, oh well, I guess he's going to leave it down there. So that's kind of like what I see for you, Yogi. Kathy, let's see, Kathy, what I have here for you. Kathy. Anybody who is not a mod and is still here, please raise your arm, because I'm going to do the angel cards for you. But if you don't raise your arm, I'm not going to do it, meaning that you're not here anymore. So that's what we will do from now on. So you guys just at least click, hey, I'm here, or something like that. So Kathy, you're getting the stars, and this is like inspiration, evaluation, good ideas, maybe planning, maybe sending CVs, maybe kind of like going in this direction. It's also hope. It's also kind of like a very positive card that like whatever is happening, you are going to be able to accomplish it. There are going to be path and doors that will be opening up for you. So it's very important. Lynn, you are getting the lilies. So this is also about sexuality. This is also about the past. This also can describe somebody who is gray-haired. It can be describing somebody who is bald, if you wish. That can talk about the elderly. It can talk about healing. So Mercury retrograde will be really doing lots of things, bringing things from the past. So pay attention to that because it's asking you to resolve these issues for once for all. So this is very, very important to know. It's also about virtue, that you do it in the best possible interest as well of everybody, right? So brunch, is it too late? Well, I still didn't eat, and it's 1:45 over here, my lady. And when I move, it's going to be 2:45, right? So we have Barbie next. There you go. We are in different time zones. Barbie. This one. We have the dog. And it's about loyalty. It's about quality. It's about, support of the other people. Maybe you're going to have the people who will help you kind of go through that. Oh my gosh, I love this card, really. Because it's just really talks about... look, it's the Ten of Hearts, it's the Ten of Cups, right? That you're like having your environment that is really, really kind of like hugging you. It's kind of like approaching you. And so you will have the comfort of your family, you will have the comfort of your friends, and something really, really good will be basically coming your way. It's a positive energy. It's a kind of devotion. It's about friendship, and it's about that proverbial loyalty if you kind of like really want to know it, right? It's about pets, right? So this is like not necessarily just dogs, but all pets, right, are indicated with this card, right? So it can be also about companionship and about close friends. But whatever it is, it's going to be true, it's going to be deep, it's going to feel, you're going to feel it right. It's like when we have this card, we kind of like feel, oh my gosh, this is why I live this life, right? It doesn't have to be the fulfillment through a relationship, but it's kind of like big fulfillment. So that's really, really important. Then we have Lorna. We have Lorna. Oh, you did put the Anita, Lara, and Ekat. Oh my gosh, you did that too. Oh my gosh, perfect, Lara. You're great. And so we Lorna, you have the bear. It's going to be about the money. It's going to be about job. It's going to be about possibly playing stock market. It's going to be about protection. The bear also can represent your mother, and maybe your mother is a little bit overly protecting. But overall, when I see bear, I really talk about cash flow issues. It's upright, right? So keep in mind, bears are not fast, right? So this is like talking about something long term that you really need to look and assess, right? This is also kind of like that nurturing kind of like thing that only mothers can do. So things that you need to consider, that's something for the future that is really kind of like really, really working for you, right? It's very important here to kind of like take this. So we have Kelsey, you also have the dog. And this is just same as I was telling Barb, like, I mean, just back it up a little bit. It's about the quality of life. It's about knowing that you're in the right place with the right people, that you feel protected. You're like in a little bit of nest. It feels like a temporary refuge from anything that is going on in life. Feeling, oh my gosh, things are right. Yes, I will go in this direction. Yes, I deserve it. Kind of like it really feels good. It's really... It's really kind of like complementary to everything that we do in life. It's kind of like not the card that you're going to jump by getting a lottery, but you feel like literally you're not kind of like pushed on a limb on anything, because you feel really that you should be where you are. So it's a very very kind of like comfortable kind of like feeling, very very kind of like universal belonging or godly feeling, if you wish. Creative Guru. Creative Guru has the moon. Well, the moon doesn't mean the same here as it means in tarot, right? So it's not about fantasies and everything. It's a positive card. It's about fame and honor, but it's also about reflection. So what it has in common with tarot card, it's emotions, right? So you kind of like really need to here think how kind of like how we kind of look at the moon from culture to culture in the past, right? So it's a romance and it has a dreamy qualities over here. Or recognition of achievements, right, are also kind of like reflected in this card. Business is reflected in this card. Work is reflected in this card. It can also talk about, creative endeavors over here. So maybe, going to be some seduction. Keep in mind you're a Scorpio. That kind of like is a second nature. Could be simply recognition at work or getting inspired to just lift it up to the next level. You're going to say, damn it, maybe this is not the most creative work on the planet, but I'm going to be the best. I saw someone on Instagram and the woman was showing how she cleans the stuff, and she says, I want to clean the houses all over the world. And first thought was like, that's really bizarre. Second thought was like, this is exactly it. She is not constraining herself to anything like that, right? So this kind of like is really great. And now we have kittens. We have Crystal. Kelsey says, thanks so much. Trying really hard to let my days off be actual rest days. So there you go. A cat, and a cat. Openness. So just like, allow things to come to you. It's very, very important, right? And it's kind of like, this position is really attracting universal energy. So if you find yourself that you're either slouched or that you are keeping your arms crossed or they're always in front of you, you need to allow this energy to come forward, to come through to you, because there's like some energy that wants to find you. So that is healing energy, and that is really something that will help you kind of like be able to heal, be able to push forward, to be able to open to new ideas, right? Because like when we're in pain, as probably you are after hearing this, right? This is kind of like what really, really happens. It's we kind of like, we turn into a little ball. But this is really asking you to kind of like go expand and open. So I think you're the only one that has left. The other ones just like pull back. So this is it from me. So I'm going to tell you when is the next time. And the next time is, whoa, the 10th. It just looks so weird because I thought we were going to be in the single digits, but we are not going to be a single digit. So the next weekend, you guys are celebrating your Independence Day. Oh my gosh, you're already getting out of pandemic. We are still trying to handle vaccination. So good for you if you do that, and hopefully it's not going to push us in the 5th or whatever the way we are in right now. But my kittens, it was just so lovely to kind of like have you here, and I'm really looking forward to kind of like our next meeting. So until then, the lady that wanted to clean everyone's houses, I know, it was hilarious. Things are looking up. Welcome everybody. She can come and clean my house anytime. That's what I thought. Oh my gosh, I can really use somebody like that. I remember some OCD boyfriends who would always clean my place, and that can be useful at this stage as well. So there you go, guys. I love you. You know where you can find me. Looking forward to kind of like hearing from you. In the meantime, check my Instagram for the daily readings. And until then, happy Canada Day, which is the 1st. Happy the 4th of July. That everything really works out. I'm just going to play a little bit musica, just a little bit, and this one is not even playing. It is playing, kind of like in a weird way. But I'll see you the next week. And which one is my ending thing? Here it is. This one. Remind yourself if you need to do this 2 weeks, just go and Safi will now probably wait